Hey everybody, welcome to another CAF update. 214th. We're making progress here. Sooner or later, we're going to be at 250 and 300. Gosh, I don't know what year will that be. But welcome to the show, everybody. We got a busy show tonight. It'll probably go all the way to midnight Eastern Standard Time, but maybe if we're lucky, we'll shave a few minutes here or there. I've got a few videos to show and some guests to talk to, and it's always good to have everybody tuning in early. I saw Nick Forrest was there, leaving his 6th like. So anybody who's come in after Nick and Brian, who left the 9th like, keep adding to our total. We always like to have as many likes during the show as possible. Hopefully, it will encourage other people to drop by and watch the show live as well. So yeah, we've got a busy show, and I've got a gentleman in the green room who many of you might remember was at OAX last year, and we had him on the show right around probably this time last year to talk about some pre-OAX commission opportunities and to talk to him about what's been going on in his career and whatnot. So let me bring it, Mr. Jeff El Jefe Isherwood.
Yeah.
How did you get the nickname El Jefe?
Oh, it's like kind of Jeff, but it's just.
Has it been with you for a very long time?
No, I made it up a few years ago. I mean, otherwise I'm Jeff the chef, but I'm not really a chef. Just more on the barbecue. As much as we can do.
Do you cook pizzas? I hear we can use a good pizza chef down at OAX next year.
No, just things like chicken, steak, that hamburgers. The usual fare. Nothing too outlandish. No.
Kazra says you're a pro bowler. Now that's something I didn't know.
Well, yeah. Well, in fact, our problem in Ottawa, we have not had a proper 10-pin lane location for a while, but there's going to be another one. There's a chain that is now going to build one, and probably is going to be sometime next year. Who knows? But anyway, and finally get back to it after a few years away. So not really pro. I never was pro, but just enjoyed the game.
Are you going to tell me that you played a 300 game before?
I did. Yeah, I did have one. So, yeah. So, I mean, there's that. That was a little while ago, 2007. Jeez. But I still remember it. And, it's one of those, everything, whatever you do, boom, right in the pocket, boom, they fell apart. And then 10th frame, I'm thinking, well, don't worry about it, just bowl. First one, fine. Second one, fine. The third one, the 5-pin just fell, rolled lazily across, and knocked over the 10, and that was it.
Wow!
You never.
Congratulations! Know, right? I think I might have broken 200 one time when I was like 17. So it's been a long time.
Yeah, well, I've pulled a few thousand games, but not for a little while. Like I say, we haven't had a place to bowl, so I tried duck pin. Don't really like it. I tried candle pin. You ever heard of candle pin?
I have.
Yeah, it's little thin sticks. It was crazy. Wife Amanda was laughing so hard. I got 3 games. I got 1 spare, and the only spare I got was a 7-10 split with dead wood in the middle, and the ball hit the pin went way, and the ball went the other. I was so frustrated. I couldn't get anything to work, so I said, "Give up on that. Give me the big ball and the real pins." I mean, that's the thing. Boom.
Alberto has alerted me that I need to text my wife. I mean, how embarrassing is that? Yeah, but I'll do that in a minute. It sounds like maybe we should be thinking about an outing of bowling while you're here in Orlando in January. What do you think about that?
Well, of course, I'd have to bring my bag with bowling ball and all that with me. I did take it once. Did take my bowling ball one time through immigration, customs, whatever, border patrol. That was back when was going to the U.S. Open in Syracuse. My cousin had a team, and a couple were going to come all the way from Reno, so she asked me to go bowl. So, what are you doing with that? Anyway, but I don't know. We'll just do comics, I think.
Well, that's the way.
But it is fun. It is fun, Do
you have any other hobbies that we should know about?
Well, sports-wise, I have gotten back into playing softball these last couple of years. It's slow pitch. You pitch to your own team. It's 3 pitch. It's what I call batting practice softball. batting practice league. So I'm left-handed. I play first base, which I always used to, and I do a lot of pitching too. So because of the bowling, they said I'm consistent. It's better than sitting on the bench in between innings. But yeah, it's fun.
I never played softball, but I did keep score for softball leagues when I was a kid. It's the only way I could afford gas for my moped.
We need you.
Yeah, $6 a game, guys. That was my first job. Even before I was a Domino's pizza delivery boy,
Oh,
I kept score for the softball league in Brunswick, Ohio, for many years.
Brunswick makes the bowling equipment. Yeah.
Yeah. No, but they didn't do it in Brunswick though. Not Brunswick,
Okay.
Ohio.
Okay. Fair
And
enough.
Alberto, I'll let Alberto know that the link is fixed. I just did it while we were talking.
Oh, good. Okay, good. Yeah. So we're able to.
Yeah, we can't take pre-OAX commissions for you if the link isn't working.
That would no. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, I mean, as it stands right now, I'm still working on Conan, the Savage Sword of Conan, issue 6. It's a 2-part story. Jason Aaron wrote it. It's Conan the King, and so issue 5 has been done for a while. In fact, a couple days ago, Jason sent me the what he does is when the book is done, he reads it over and he'll even edit some of his own dialogue and script. He'll go through the script again, and sometimes he doesn't change anything, but here and there he might say, I can tweak a line, which is rare. Most writers with a finished script, they just go straight ahead and that's it. And of course I draw it based on that script, but if he finds something he can mess around with, cool. So he sent me that, so I was able to even read the whole comic ahead of time, which is it doesn't happen. Like I just send it off and hope the balloon placement is good and all that, and I even caught a couple of typos. So
oh no, did you tell him?
Oh yes, he said, please tell me what it is. And a couple of word balloons. There was missing punctuation and little things, but I'm kind of nasty for doing that kind of stuff anyway. So my mother was a reading specialist, so I kind of come by it honestly, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's my mom was an English teacher as well. So yeah. But I'm not good at spelling, but I can usually I can't catch myself, but I can catch it with other people.
Well, yeah, I'm the typo king when I'm typing. Absolutely. I learned to touch type in high school. Back when I was going to have a free period in my last year, and my father said, "Don't you dare! You're going to take a class." So it's typing or woodworking. It's like, I'll take the typing class. So I'm there with like 25 girls, right? I wound up second in the class. Pretty good. I can still touch type like a monster, but the letters are all over the place. I can't sort it out anymore. But I have to really be careful. Go back, read everything over. So that's good. Anyway, yeah. If everybody's wondering what's behind me, well, there's a page of Conan on the page on the.
Yeah, let's see what you've been working on. I mean, I assume most people in the chat know that you've been working on Conan, like we were just talking about, but you were showing me some of the art before we got started today.
Page 29 of the second one. So we have our witch character. Okay, you see here. She's fighting a couple of the bad guys that are like some sort of monks. And we come over here. And then the head guy zaps her across the back with his whip, got this like, I don't know, some kind of cucumber with spikes or something. Anyway, and then so down here, so she turns around and she makes these vines come out of the ground and start to grab him because she's like an earth goddess type. And then I have my Neil Adams leaping pose here. And then she decides she stabs him right through. How do you like that one? Oh, by the way, the reason his face is here it is. The reason his face is like that is because Conan, earlier in the story, cleaves him right down the middle, and he doesn't die. So it's like this guy's too weird. And then so just when he thinks he's going to get away with it, the vines come and grab him. He's speared through, and the vines are grabbing him, and you can see over here, she's manipulating the vines to make sure that he gets sucked into the ground, sort of. But of course, that's only page 29 out of 48, and the next page he's going to get away. So, But anyway, you don't see Conan on that page. He's going to make an appearance very shortly with his kind of revised look we're doing. I'm revising him a bit. He's a bit souped up for the rest of the story. So, I got to save that, mainly because I got to figure out what he's going to look like. I got to figure it out,
Have you been getting direction from Jason as far as like what he thinks Conan should look like?
It's all right here.
It's all there in the notes.
Yeah, I got the whole script right here. I printed on both sides. It's like page 29. Oh, page 30. Okay, let me see. I'll give you a quick. Let's see what we got here. The last panel, tight on. Okay, Conan's mystical ice sword suddenly hacking off the Witchbreaker's hand. Ouch. That's panel 5. Then panel 6, his fist punching Witchbreaker hard in the face. Unlike the last time he tried to punch the priest, this one actually knocks the Witchbreaker back with great power. We glimpse that Conan's hand is adorned with magical markings. And that's what I get to work with.
Well, that gives you a lot of creative freedom.
Yeah, but also the problem with this is if I start putting, too much stuff, then I got to remember where it is, and I got to draw it over and over and over and over. So I don't want to go crazy.
Right. You've done this before, right? Where you have drawn things a little bit too intricate.
Well, yeah, but it's like, it's the difference between movies and comics is that, hey,
Mr. Layton says hello. Hey.
Hello. Yes. All the way from Korea, I guess.
That's right.
Anyway, it's the problem with comics that, you got to draw things over and over. So it's like the Iron Man, speaking of Bob, Iron Man Mark 42 armor from the movies. It took some concept artists, probably a few of them, like a month to come up with this thing. But in a comic, I did a drawing of that once, and it took me so long just to try and make sure everything was in the right place, all the little bits and pieces. And that's crazy. You can't draw this in a comic. You take forever. So also the whole thing can start to look too much like wallpaper if you overdo it. So I just have to pick a few, pick out what I want to have adorning Conan, what it's going to be, something that's simple enough, but it works. So it's a little bit of a combination of those two things. Mm-hmm. I found with things like giant fight scenes and work great on a movie, but in comics, it looks like a little ants on the page, right? It just doesn't work so well, I find. So I find comics are better as more of a closer, intimate kind of setting, and that kind of feel tends to work better. And a lot of writers want to do, the big widescreen, ultimate, disaster kind of stuff, and it doesn't work as well on the printed page. I find it just you can have that big cityscape or something, but you can't do it all the time. It just clogs up the art. So anyway. And I'm afraid what I'm doing, I've been asked to do a lot of that, heavy duty organic stuff in this story. And that can also start to look very convoluted and confusing. So as I'm doing these pages, I'm going back and looking again, going, does it read well? Is it reader's going to pick up on this? I have to make sure, as best I can.
Will you be bringing any of that Conan work with you to OAX?
Yeah, I'm thinking of bringing all of it. It'll be completed. That's kind of what I have that's new. And, if some collectors out there are interested in getting a little something, it's one interesting point is my first real Conan work for 25 years. Is that some kind of record, like in between Conan? In between jobs on the same character? 25-year gap? I wonder.
I don't know. That's that is a good question. Somebody out there could probably let us know. But
Yeah, somebody research that, please. I'm
25
curious to
years
know.
between
20.
Conan.
It was when back in '99 when Marvel dropped the license. Marvel was publishing some little 3-issue miniseries type things, and I'd done a couple, and I was working on covers for the next one, and I got the call. That's it, you know. This is the last thing we've lost the license, and that was it, you know. And then I never really expected to work on the character again, but it was a year ago. It was actually, well, it was last October, and it was almost a year ago that I met the editor, a couple of editors from Heroic Signatures who are handling the Howard characters. They have the rights to do this. I think they've owned the Howard rights, and they are handling the editorial side of things. So, you know, Ashley Hodgkins came over and she says, I talked to Jim Zub and he sent them over to me, and she said, "We'd love you to do some Conan work for us." And I said, "Sounds great. Let's do something." But that was October, and it wasn't until March when I got the email from Chris Butera, who's the editor of the Savage Sword. And he said that, he said, "I've been trying to figure out what I can get you to do. And I think I found it. I've got this. Do you have time for this 48-page Conan story?" I said, "Of course." And they said, "Well, by the way, it's 2 parts," which is kind of curious because Savage Sword up till this point has been individual, like it's an anthology book. Every comic has a different artist for the lead story.
Mm-hmm.
And in this case, I'm doing 5 and 6, but I think the idea was they with Jason's story, you know, it needed that length. So just I'll do both of them, you know, and then we'll see what happens next. We're going to discuss further things when this is finished. That's the main point. I'm not going to, you know, get too distracted with anything else until I get it done, which will be later this month.
Cool. Well, I appreciate hearing that you're going to be bringing that work to OAX as a drop. You know, at OAX we wanted to have the feel like it's the biggest art drop of new artwork available of any show out there. So bringing that work and having it there first will be awesome. Just something that we can promote for you in advance and give people a reason to go to your table first.
Yeah. Well, I get to see what's one thing that's interesting is I did take the last 13 pages of the first story to San Diego when I was out there. It was my first ever trip to San Diego, of all things, in July. And Chris was so happy to see, and that everybody else from Heroic was there, the publisher, everybody. So they got to see these pages, and they were saying, it's great to see the real art in hand because it's on paper, right? They get everything all reduced, digitized, you know, digitally scanned and everything. And they almost never get to see the actual art.
That's funny. Yeah,
so
that's the way it is these days, right? I mean, that's I never even thought about it like that. I mean, I guess they're just used to it now after, you know, just having the artists just send their scans in and never getting to see the originals anymore. But that's cool.
And I'm drawing these slight on larger paper. It's 14 by 17 because the magazine format is a bit wider. It's more like a 3:4 ratio rather than 2:3 for comics. So I could have done them on 11:14 and not had to shrink them too much. But then with all the detail, it's easier to draw everything a little larger, you know. So I just went that route.
Cool. Well, why don't we let everybody know what your commission ops are?
Okay, let's go through that. We've been
seen one or
enough,
two
and you don't have all
already.
So.
Yeah, I tried to, you know, who knows if my slides are 100% perfect. They got to be as close as I can get them. I know you sent great scans in of everything. So it's a little different than last year. I remember last year you had just some headshots and busts and things like that. So this time everything's kind of a full figure. And
I can still do the bust. You know, I thought about that, but I think pretty well everybody last year ordered the larger pieces. So I thought, just go with that. Sure. And you have your the mystery sketches also coming up in November. So those were more like the headshot things. So that's very
true. I mentioned that in the email today that I sent out, that everybody's been really pleased with the mystery sketches that you've been doing for the last 2 or 3 ComicArtLive events that we've had. So I want to let you know that we appreciate that too, because you've gotten some non-standard characters and you've knocked them out of the park each time.
Well, it's funny because you never know what people are going to ask for or who, and also in style, style wise. And so I got to do a Mobius takeoff, and the Carol Day. Absolutely. That was fascinating because I didn't really know the character well, but I love the artist, So Wright, David Wright, I believe.
That's
correct. I got that correct.
You did.
Got it right. Yeah.
So,
okay. So yeah, these are, this is one, a Zealot, one I had done. So again, single character, I say no background, and I say maybe minimal. This is more like the Electra, where I put her Electra, her symbol that she has, I put that in the background and did some toothbrush spray. In fact, I frisketed the whole figure so I would try and keep it from getting too messy. So, I might go with a little background. It just depends what strikes me at the time. And I also put Canadian dollars because many Canadian fans also collect from me. So I just put that up there just so you know.
Right. And, so this first opportunity is 11 by 17 single character, no to minimal background. And if they want to add a second or third character, they can do that, fully inked black and white. And then the other one was where it was 11 by 17 single character with full backgrounds.
Yeah, because background, usually that means I'm going to do a fair bit of extra drawing. So sometimes the background takes more time than the figure. So it can, like this one, I wanted to get that really strong lighting, side lighting effect. And of course, Conan always has to have the headless bad guy, like nothing says Conan more than a
beheading.
Beheaded, yeah. He's it's always some kind of demonic character, something like that, because he doesn't really like them too much, and who does?
And another example with the 11 by 17 and a full background.
Yeah, Wolverine, nice and hairy arms, kind of like mine, I guess. And straight out of Wolverine and Deadpool,
Oh yeah. And Stingray, we talked about this ahead of time, right, Jeff? We're going to say that certainly by Christmas, we're going to probably be turning off. You're shutting down your list, so people have a little bit of time to think about it.
Yeah, because I only would have so much time, and hopefully anybody that wants to order them will order them sooner than that. But if somebody comes along late in the game, I'll certainly do what I can to try and get it finished. But of course, if it's it depends what, because if it's too elaborate, I may not have time. Hey, Robert. So yeah, just order now, Stingray. There you go. You can think about it, but anyway, let's continue.
Let's see. What was it?
We'll get on to some.
Yeah, you had showed a couple multi-character pieces here on the 11 by 17 full figure. So you get a Daredevil, Black Widow on this one.
Yeah.
And turned out very nice. Lots of bricks on this one. We like that here on the channel.
Oh yeah, that's cool. You think, does it take that long? Not really. Once you get it lined up, 20 minutes, you've drawn the bricks. I mean, this one was a bit more. What I did with this, somebody wanted Dormammu fighting Doctor Strange and Clea. So what I did was I took the setting from Doctor Strange 50 that I'd drawn back then, and I figured I'll just use that as my setting. And then I didn't have to think of something else. I thought, I'll just go with something that, it's like a beat taken from the story. But
so the final one that you sent was a color option, painted option.
Yeah, this is it's a commission I did of Logan. I have this as a poster usually, and I think it's maybe my best-selling poster of all time. And so again, this was that at the time was either watercolor or Dr. Martin dye colors or whatever. But so it's not digital. It's really done. It's really drawn. I mean, the other is really as well. Digital is, but it's fully on paper. I'll just put it that way. So that is an idea of color that's can be done as well. Yeah, and so I do some of those on occasion when people ask for them.
exactly. And this one's if it's in color, there will be no background on it.
Yeah, well, this again, similar like idea, like might be a little something, but nothing too, nothing that's going to say I'm going to spend another equal amount of time, doing, Manhattan in the background or something. It's just, again, it's not that I wouldn't do it, but it's just if I wind up with a bunch of these, getting them done on time is my main constraint. So I just didn't want to have to do something that was too involved. In general, for commissions, if I have time, great. But one thing I did want to mention was that I had like 10 commissions when I started the Conan job back in April. I had 10 of them. Most of them, I had 8 like ready to ink. I had to stop everything. I had to postpone. I just had that all had to go back on the shelf because Conan has been I've just been working only on Conan for this whole time. It's 96 pages, right? And it's in black and white. So the whole idea is once I finish this story, since I don't have anything really lined up immediately after, I'm looking at being able to do those commissions and OAX stuff November, December. I'm kind of seeing if I can, well, I mean, if something else comes up, sure, but nothing is there yet. So I'm expecting to have no problem getting stuff finished, and the Conan also that there was more of a deadline crunch as well. So hopefully if something else comes along, I'll be able to, I won't have to just, plow through it. So that's the idea. That's just because I know there's nothing absolutely solid set yet. And I don't expect anything to really hit until next year. Then I'll have time for these. And also everybody else who has been waiting, I'll get to it. I'm going to get to it soon.
Exactly. Well, we're happy to have you come back next year, and I'm looking forward to seeing the Conan work in person in January, and hopefully we'll get to maybe even see the book before then too, right?
Well, they'll both be out. Yeah, the first one's coming out around Halloween, and the next will be coming out around New Year's. So both the comics will be there. Perfect. The magazines will be there, and that's what's really good because people have known I've been working on this for a while, but there's nothing published yet. So even for New York, which I'm going to in a couple of weekends, still won't be out yet. So
yeah, you can't show it.
No, I mean some people here and there, but like you saw on page today, I've just put up a panel here and there or something. It's like a trailer for a movie. You see a little bit, but you don't really catch the whole thing.
Exactly, just enough to get you interested, tease them a little bit. But hey, I gotta cut us off here. I got another guest in the green room ready to go, Jeff. So what I'll be doing is sending out some PR for you for these, and I'm obviously anything I can help you with in the meantime, let me know. Yeah. But
and payment options are listed there too for everybody, just so you know.
And because the emails will go into you, you'll be able to set things up with the buyers, and it's all kind of.
One thing I did last year as well. If you're attending the show, I don't mind. If you pay me upon receipt, you don't have to necessarily send something ahead of time. But I've never had problems with that, and that's cool too. So we'll just as you can manage. If you want to get something, we'll do it. So you'll be able to contact me. The information Bill will have, and we'll go from there. And we'll just see. And Kazra's going to be in New York too, which is fantastic. So Kazra, I don't even know what my table number is yet, but I'm just going to be in that big room with a whole pile of artists, and I'm around somewhere. I'll just find it and go from there. That's going to be fun too. So anybody else is out there going to be in New York, be looking forward to seeing you again, or for the first time, we'll see. And OAX will be fantastic. Really looking forward to coming down and
let's hope for good weather again.
Enjoying more serene settings.
And if we can get a round of bowling in, we're gonna do it. We gotta maybe we'll do a best of 3, but I have a feeling I'll be done in 2.
I don't care. I'll just take whatever house ball. I mean, I don't care.
All right.
I had a show in Tulsa, and I just found this place called the Dust Bowl of all places. Tulsa, Oklahoma, right? And
only
so I
Tulsa, what they call it.
With some old thing, wooden lanes, beat up shoes, beat up ball. Who cares? Just hurl it. Have some fun. That's what counts. It's all fun. I don't worry about the score.
All right, Jeff. Well, listen, always great talking to you, and looking forward to seeing you in January. And of course, I'll make sure that Kazer's going to stop by and pester you at New York Comic Con.
There's Halifax for y'all. Yeah,
very good.
It's just in Nova Scotia the last couple of weeks. So visiting Amanda's family and friends and all over there. So and a really good friend of mine, another art collector, Mike Cross, was there. He's been down to Heroes and stuff before. And so it was great to see him again, and great to see everybody else. That's what it's really fun to be able to have everybody visit the table. I sometimes feel like it's just like the front porch, just set up chairs, people can come and visit, like we sit around and talk. That's what it's about.
That's what OAX is going to be like, I think. But all right, Jeff, I will. We'll be in contact. I've seen a couple emails come through, so all is well. So have a good one, and we'll see you again soon.
Okay.
See ya. Hey, all right. So looking forward to hanging out with Jeff again. I don't know what the issue was with the website earlier, but I did get the page linked in there while he and I were talking. So it's all hooked up and looking like it's working properly. So moving right along, my next guest has a Kickstarter out there currently, and before I bring him in, I'll play his teaser, and then he'll be on screen, and we'll get to talk about this new interesting Kickstarter that he's got going on. So here, brace yourself.
1986. A masked vigilante stalks the streets of Freak City, seeking final vengeance against his evil rogues gallery. Defective Comics presents Savage Street Vigilante. An over-the-top, creator-owned, superhero parody comic book unlike any other. From fan-favorite artistic sensation, Jim Mahfood. 48 pages of pure, glorious destruction. Launching October 1st on Kickstarter.
Jim Mahfood. Wow. It's good to see you again, man.
Good to see you, Bill. Thanks for having me, man. Appreciate it.
My pleasure. I'm always happy to help out a friend, especially when you got a cool Kickstarter going on here, man.
Yeah. It launched Tuesday the 1st, and it's been going great, man. We got fully funded in the first hour of the campaign, which was a very pleasant surprise for me. And then we're just cruising along, man. Day 3, I've already sold out of all the original art tiers.
I saw that. I was hoping we would get to maybe push one through tonight, but we can't because they're all gone.
Yeah, I do have original art I wanted to show off at some point. Like I can switch my camera because this is the show to do that, to show originals. Okay. Of course. But yeah, man, it's just I've only done one other Kickstarter, and that was like 4 years ago. I did a pop-up book with a buddy of mine who figured out how to engineer and design his own pop-up books. And this one we did, obviously using my artwork. So there's like a Daft Punk Star Wars piece, but this did really well on Kickstarter. And then the Savage Street Vigilante book that we just launched is my first comic book effort on Kickstarter.
Really, so, for as long as you've been kind of independent, I would have thought it would have come up, as an opportunity. Just you're always just too busy, so Kickstarters just weren't an avenue for you to get a project through.
Yeah, it was just figuring out like the right project, because the last couple of years my comics work has mainly consisted of like my Girl Scouts create her own comic, which I always do through Image. And before that, I was doing some Tank Girl stuff, and that was Titan Books out of the UK. So for me, I'll do maybe one comics project every 2 years or so, just because it's such a time-consuming effort to do interiors. And the rest of the time, I'm working as a freelance illustrator, basically. And I've been getting a lot of like variant cover work over the last couple of years, which has been awesome. So variant covers exist in the world of comics, obviously, but I also view it as like, well, that's working as a freelance illustrator. That's you're making one image to make a client and editors happy and to sell the product, which is a book that isn't your own, basically. So I like that challenge, but this year I had this idea of doing this Caped Crusader superhero parody book, we'll call it. And
Yeah,
I was just
there's striking, resemblances in these characters that I saw.
Yes. And so I choose my words carefully just to avoid legal things, but Mad Magazine is parody, and there's actually a long lineage in the history of comics and the history of comics on Kickstarter of people doing parody comics and like fan comics and stuff like that. So I was in Pittsburgh in April, and I was showing the pages that I had started for this book to Jim Rugg from Cartoonist Kayfabe, and my buddy Tom Scioli, who's an incredible artist. And just them seeing the book, they were like, this is beyond just you self-publishing this as like a joke book. You should just kickstart this. Like, it's so weird. It's so different and unique. And it's just a one shot. It's a 48-page one shot, self-contained. So if it doesn't work out great, you did the Kickstarter and you learn some things, and then you move on. Basically, it's not it's not like a crazy investment in making like a 160-page graphic novel or something.
Well, I mean, but it's gone well so far. I mean, it's been well received. It's smashed its funding goals, and even though it makes us all sad, all the art got sold. So that's a positive. I mean, at the end of the day. So, and you're just getting started, right? I mean, you're only, is it 4 days in, 3 days in, 3 days in?
Day 3. Yeah. So we have also had the options of incredible variant covers from Jim Rugg, I mentioned, and Mike Huddleston as well, who's an unbelievable artist. Mike and I met actually 31 years ago in art school. So there's my cover on the left, Huddleston's cover on the right, which is like the most ridiculous, incredible thing I've seen so far this year. And that's pen and ink on paper from Mike and digital colors on top. So the dude is.
And then there was this other one had the Jim Rugg on it, right? Yeah, there it is on the left.
Jim Rugg on the left, just absolutely crazy, man. Just so cool. And then the image on the right is the first splash page from the book of my stuff. So the cool thing about the character is there's no specific on model costume for him. So all my variant cover artists and the fan art, I've been getting fan art coming in for the character, and everyone's just sort of interpreting it their own way, basically, which I think makes it more fun,
So what's it like writing and drawing a R-rated comic book?
It's an absolute blast, man, because I can just do whatever I want. And I want the visuals to be, the most noticeable, striking thing. So when you're writing for yourself, you just write what you want to draw. And it's funny because I was talking on the Ink Pulp live stream last night, our live stream show that we do. Mike Mignola, his documentary just dropped on Amazon Prime. And one of the things Mike really stresses is he had this whole long stretch of doing like superhero comics for a while. And it just got to the point where he was like, I just want to draw monsters. Like, what do I do here to solve this problem? I know what I'll do. I'll create my own character and finally do my own creator-own thing and cater it toward exactly what I want to draw. So he makes jokes about like, I don't want to draw superheroes flying through cityscapes. I don't want to draw cars. I don't want to draw the. And so that is what Hellboy is. And that's what the Mignola aesthetic is like, draw what you love, draw what you know. So it's just been an absolute blast, man. And with my creator-owned books at Image, like Girl Scouts, I mentioned, those are things that I've always written myself as well. So, to me, the storytelling and the craft of actually constructing comics, just being able to do the whole process from start to finish, to me seems like that's just take on the whole thing yourself if you can, you know?
Right. So you've been working on it pretty much since late winter.
Yeah, I started the book in March, and at the end of March. And so the book has been done for just like 3 weeks because I just psychologically, man, I wanted to be done with the whole thing before we launched the Kickstarter. And right now I'm adding gray tones to the pages, and the book is being lettered. And I have a buddy helping me with the lettering and the design of the book. And then I have another buddy helping me with the actual like fulfillment when the Kickstarter ends on October 31st. So the thing I've learned, man, with Kickstarter is you probably want to get help involved with something like this. Like it's a lot of things to take care of, a lot of so did I break out for a minute there? Sorry.
Just for a second. Yep.
Okay.
But
yeah,
I
my computer.
I do an annual Kickstarter myself, and I do not handle the fulfillment on it. I would go insane if I did. I don't mind doing all the PR and marketing for it. I don't even mind going in and plugging in all the details for it. But fulfillment side, yeah, that's not my cup of tea at all. And I don't envy anybody that tries tackling that, but it's, you know, on their own. But clearly, you've got a good support group around you. That's phenomenal. You've done it the right way.
Yeah. And man, I've even been like testing the limits of like friendships with this, of like asking favors of like every established person I know, of like comics creators, YouTube influencers, just people where I just ask them. It doesn't hurt to ask, and I'll just say like, can you just give me a plug online? And everyone has come through. And even yesterday, man, I hit up Kevin Smith. I just texted Kevin and was like,
all right.
Hey, I'm like, hey buddy, could you plug my new Kickstarter? And he hit me back and he did it. He shot it out there on his Instagram stories, and like that kind of stuff makes a difference. So, Bill, and you guys having me on to this show, it's also like, well, I just owe all these people favors now. So
I'll call it in someday, man. But you know, I don't see it like that. We've known each other for a while, and always good to hang out. And I like anybody that tries to challenge themselves with stuff like this. I mean, you know, it's not easy, and no, I mean, clearly, you know, you've been around the block for a long time. People are familiar with your work. They know the style. They're the people that are into it. They love it, and I think that a Kickstarter like this just exposes kind of your talent and your artistic style to a whole new group of people, which is smart and it's great. And who knows where what maybe that next Kickstarter could be 4 or 5 years down the road. So, but these first steps are always like so important. And I think it's cool. I'm gonna set myself up on one, even though I can't get any art from it.
Yeah. Well, I did want to mention, can I switch my camera to show some original?
Yeah. You were mentioning
like kick me off anytime you need to kick me off, but I'll just show what I am offering that people can still get on the Kickstarter is I'm drawing 6x8 signature book plates with like the hand lettered Savage Street Vigilante. And then you get an original drawing with each one. So the book plate comes inside the actual comic book. So that's an original art tier that has no limit to it. So people can still get in on that. And then this is just like the original cover. Let me turn and then I showed some of this off on our stream last night, but these are just some sample covers. This is like the cyborg super god character.
Yeah, he does look like a super god. Yeah, I think you sent one
There's
of those. Yeah, there we go. I knew I had a
well,
scan.
there he is. He's gray toned in that one. There you go. Some of the female characters with very weird plant creatures, and yeah, man. I mean, hopefully it's obvious, but I'm having a total blast just drawing this stuff.
Well, you're having a lot of fun with these panel layouts too. I could tell.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Super fun, and this is the advantage of writing your own material. And then, Bill, as a bonus, this is just me showing off some other stuff. I've been doing Godzilla covers for IDW. I mentioned Tom Scioli, my buddy, has a new book coming out called Godzilla's Monsterpiece Theater, starting in October. So this is my first cover for issue 1 through IDW, and then here's the issue 2 cover.
Damn.
Godzilla's super fun to draw, man. I'm having a blast with these.
Do you do the coloring on these, or is somebody else?
I do.
You do.
I do. I'm digitally coloring these in Procreate on my iPad. And then this was a weird one for this new magic sorcery comic book called Silver Void. So lots of variant covers these days, man. Psychedelic space cats. What more do you want? You know,
you're living the life of everyone's dream, man. When you're getting to draw all that kind of stuff. So
yeah.
what do you do with the interiors for the Kickstarter book? Are those going to be something that you offer for sale somewhere down the road, or how do you usually handle the original published stuff from your work?
Yeah, I'm still figuring that out. I mean, I had the crazy idea of, do I actually just drop the entire book at once online when I feel like selling the originals and see what that creates, see what kind of insanity that generates. So yeah, I've been bringing the first 10 or 12 pages with me to conventions this year, just to show people the stuff that I'm working on, and the reaction's been great. But I'm trying to figure out, like, I'm going to New York Comic Con. I'll be at Artist Alley, table D26. So I will have originals for sale there, but I'm probably going to hold off on the Kickstarter book until the campaign's over.
Sure.
So, and this is just
the best way. What's for something like that, potential opportunity to buy artwork in the future. What's the best way to kind of follow you? Is it socially? Is it signing up for a mailing list? What would you recommend?
Yes, people can sign up for my email newsletter through my website, which is just jimmahfood.com. And all my social media is under my name as well. Twitter, Instagram. I'm pretty easy to find online. So, and my last plug would be Sean Crystal and I do a live stream show that I mentioned called Ink Pulp Live on YouTube. That is once every 2 weeks, generally.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's just us, man, drawing live, hanging out with the chat, talking art and craft and technique. And we've crafted a really cool community around that. It's been awesome.
I've watched it a few times.
Oh, good, cool.
Sean's a great host. Yeah, I know you guys have a lot of fun with it, and I am on your mailing list, so I get to see, when you get the shows coming up. But no, man, it's great. We need more shows like that out there. I haven't paid too close attention to shows where artists are drawing. I don't know, just because it's something you have to watch. Sorry, and I'm so used to just to listening stuff. The conversation's good, but I want to see what people are doing. And the few times I've actually taken the time to watch you guys draw or a few other people draw, I'm like, I've been missing out on stuff for the last 5 or 6 years now. Not watching, creators kind of get in and just enjoy themselves. Like the drink and draw shows and all that stuff. It's just when I mentioned that a few weeks back, a guy was like, "Welcome to the internet, Bill. You finally figured it out." I'm like, "Yeah,
right."
How did I not realize this was so much fun to watch other people make art? So. Yeah, no, I would highly encourage everybody to subscribe to the Ink Pulp Live channel and catch your shows, because they're very enjoyable. You guys are great together.
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate that. And man, I like, as long as I've been drawing, I get completely fascinated and love watching other artists draw as well, because everyone approaches things completely different. So even at conventions, if I see someone drawing, I'll stop and hopefully not annoy them. But it's fascinating to watch people, because since I sort of know my style and what I do and what my approach is, you can learn and pick things up right away just by looking at how someone else will like just start a piece or approach inking techniques or cross hatching or whatever. So it's a cool thing, man. It's almost like watching like a magic trick or something unfold, you know?
I didn't realize you had a Jack Kirby shirt on this whole time.
Jack.
It's the letters, man. I'm looking at the letters and I'm thinking it's just some kind of punk rock band or something like that.
Oh yeah. Someone gave this to me at Heroes Con this year, and I apologize for not remembering that gentleman's name, but they're like, "You're a huge Kirby fan. Check this out." So, Bill, I got to meet Kirby in '92 when I was 17 years old.
Where were you at?
I was at San Diego Comic-Con, my first time out there, traveling from St. Louis with a group of friends. And we were able to go to Jack Kirby's 75th birthday party and wait in line and shake his hand. And I got a photo with him and everything. But it was, at the time I was like, oh, that's cool. I met the king of comics, Jack Kirby. That's exciting. But in retrospect now, as a grown man and a Kirby fanatic, it is a more totally mind-blowing idea that I stood and shook Jack's hand and talked to him for a minute and thanked him for his work. Like, that is completely mind-blowing. Like, that's awesome. So
you love the photo?
I do.
Yeah.
I do. I should have prepared it. I should have had it, but yeah.
You got to blow that thing up, put it on the wall, man. I mean, it's a memory that lasts forever. Shoot.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Bisley in my sketches, the influence of Bisley is super obvious. That's right, Chris. Yeah. Huge Bisley fanatic, and his late 80s, early 90s work, like the Lobo stuff, is a big influence on this Kickstarter stuff I'm doing.
Yeah, no, I can see that. Certainly. I mean, that's kind of my favorite era of Bisley's work as well. You know, the early stuff, the experimental things that influenced a lot of artists at that time period, right? I mean, he's a heavily influential guy.
Oh yeah.
Oh, cool. What is this? Kazar posted a link to your ink pulp for Kirby's birthday. Oh, there's a photo.
Oh, right. So
okay.
Yeah. So Kasra was our guest on the Kirby birthday show, and he showed off his incredible MODOK collection, which I had no idea, man, the depths of what the MODOK collection was. It was incredible. Sean and I were like, wow, man, this is next level for MODOK. It was
awesome. It's a one of a kind collection. I've gotten to see a few pieces from that myself, but yeah. So you had the photo during that stream. Okay, I'll have to go back and check it out. That's incredible. The one time you meet him, it's his 75th birthday party at San Diego Comic-Con. That's unreal.
Yeah, it was wild. And the other wild thing is all the Image guys at the time, McFarlane, Lee, Liefeld, they were all waiting in line with us as well, respectfully, to shake Jack's hand and say happy birthday. So not only were we freaking out that we were going to meet the king, but 20 people ahead of us is Lee, Liefeld, and McFarlane.
Right.
And so as a 17-year-old, I mean, those were the hottest dudes in the world for comics, obviously. So my friends and I were all just freaking out, man. It's something I'll never forget. It was cool.
Yeah, that's wonderful. I am envious. I never got to see him. I did get to see Stan Lee a few times, but that's a different story. But Jack, that would have been cool. But it took me a while to really appreciate Jack. I mean, he's the king of comics, but growing up as a kid, I never got it. But it took, I think by the 90s, I finally figured it out. But you never know what you don't know. It's like, it took me a while to like Infantino's work, right?
Yeah.
Gene Colan, guys who had their own style, very distinctive. You could spot it a mile away. But growing up in the 80s, if it wasn't Perez or Byrne or something like that, it didn't kind of fit my mindset as a comic book reader. And but today, oh man, I wish I was paying closer attention back then. I just didn't know.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, I had to have someone when I was in college like deconstruct Kirby for me and explain it and explain the storytelling, dynamism, the shapes, the pure imagination. And it once you go down that rabbit hole of like just one man's imagination was at this scope is hard to comprehend that someone could have that. I mean, the only comparison to me would almost be like Mobius, just in terms of pure imaginative genius vision. But I think Jack, in terms of like just the characters and worlds he created, like there's no one that even comes close.
I completely agree, man. I really do. So as far as what you're doing at New York Comic Con and the lead up to that, I mean, you bring in anything new that people should be looking for while you're there?
Yeah, I've got a new Godzilla print that I made out of that first issue cover. That's going to be in full color. I'll have my trade paperbacks. I'll have my most recent self-published art book, which is the Ballpoint Slayer, and that is a collection of all my best ballpoint sketchbook drawings. And that has a window on the back of it that I do an original drawing in and sign for everybody who buys it. So I've got that. I've got 3 binders full of original art, ranging from Tank Girl published pages to the Godzilla covers to just a potpourri, man, of a variety of art. So come by D26 Table Artist Alley, New York. I'll be there all 4 days. It's going to be wild. It's always wild, man. It's that show's always.
I haven't been in I don't know when I last went there. It was pre-pandemic, so probably like 2018 was my last time going there. I'll get back there at some point, but it was always a fun show. Just a little overwhelming, a little bit. It's sort of like San Diego, but different because being right in Manhattan like that. But it was always a fun time. But while you're there, do you take sketch lists or things during the show, or do you not sketch a lot during concerts?
It depends on how busy I get. Sometimes I'll wind up doing like $200 little bust kind of sketches, like that 6x8 size I showed off. And sometimes I'm just hanging out, talking and selling originals, and I get distracted with that. I did a commission list, man, that I only had 6 spots for, and that filled up. And the Kickstarter, the making the book and preparing for the campaign has completely consumed my entire life. So what my plan is, man, is after the Kickstarter and maybe even after the holidays, I might open a commission list just to the general public online. And I do that through social media and through my email newsletter. But my priority has just to not screw up this Kickstarter thing.
Sounds like New York should be more of a break for you, a little bit of a vacation. Time off. You can actually hang out, have a beer with some friends, and just to enjoy, being away from the desk.
Yes,
shackled to it for a while.
Which is an ironic thing to say, Bill, that New York will be a relaxing, but you're right. That's kind of how I'm viewing it. Like, oh man, I'm going to spend a full week in New York and I won't be at the drawing table, like chained up over here, literally like 10 hours a day. But
met your goals on the Kickstarter, at that point you'll have, like 10 days left. So yeah, you'll have work to do when you get back, but you get that nice break in between.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that is so true, man. So anything you need me to help out with in the lead up to the closing of the Kickstarter, please, let me know. I mean, I'm happy to get some more extra PR out for you, whether it's in the mailings or news items or whatnot. And I can every once in a while influence my editor to get something in the daily email. So maybe when the Kickstarter is to a close, I can slide in your Kickstarter closing is like the article for the day, which
that'd be
okay.
That'd be great.
That would be cool. I'd be happy to do that.
I appreciate that, man. You and Casa are the best, dude. I appreciate your help. It's been awesome, and it's been a real community building kind of exercise of just like, it doesn't hurt to ask. It never hurts to ask. So like just reaching out to people. Most people have been so cool about accommodating me that I just feel really lucky at this point, and especially 3 days into the campaign, like I was breathing a sigh of relief at the end of the first day on Tuesday. Like, okay, let's keep going. It's exciting. It's fun.
It is. Well, I mean, well deserved though, man. And the artwork you showed looks fantastic too. I think.
Thank you.
There were people who were like saying claim when you were showing them. So I think people are going to be really excited, to see the book, potentially to have the opportunity to buy the art one day. And again, all well deserved, man. You've been at it for a long time. I mean, your career in comics.
Yes.
So
yeah.
This is cool, and hopefully the beginning of many personal projects like this. Yeah,
and that was the last thing about it. I'll say is the Defective Comics Presents label. My goal is to turn that into a line of comics where the Savage Street Vigilante is the first one shot. If it's super successful at the end of the campaign, like hopefully it's turning out to be, my goal would be to do another one next year, and it's a different character or hero that I'm parodying. So it wasn't just a one-off thing. The goal was like, let me see if I can turn this into like a line of comics that I just get to write and draw and have fun with and sell directly to my fans through crowdfunding.
Mm-hmm.
So
why not? Right. Hey, the Mignola documentary, it's kind of the blueprint. I haven't watched it yet, but I did see it on Amazon Prime come up, and I watched the trailer for it. So it's like, all right, I had to add it to my watch list. I'm gonna try to watch it this weekend. But I mean, but there's not enough of those sorts of documentaries out there. And Kezra says you can do Cyclops parodies because everybody knows Cyclops is my favorite X-Men. So
yeah.
I get that all the time. But an X-Men parody might be fun.
I love Cyclops. That one's made just for you, Bill. Like you have to order 200 copies of it when it goes up on Kickstarter next year.
Nobody else is going to do it. Just make sure that threshold to make it, to get it published or printed is low enough for one guy to handle.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, we could do like a Comic Art Fans variant. That would
be awesome.
Get some demand.
What would it take to convince you to do a photo cover of you dressed as Cyclops, and that would be your guys' contribution to the variant covers?
The sad thing is I actually have a Cyclops costume. Believe it or not, I filmed some memes, and I went out and bought one, and nobody's really gotten to see it yet because I didn't actually ever kind of publish any of the memes or show them some. No, maybe I showed one. So I paid like $80 for the Cyclops costume, and people got to see him for like 5 seconds in a meme. But yeah. So yes, I could, but we'll have to talk about that when you get.
Yeah. The people are ready, Bill. That would be amazing.
Yeah, there you go. James Siegel says me as Cyclops and Kazra as MODOK. Now that might be something everybody would like to see.
You guys should show up to the Friday night launch party of OAX dressed that way, Cyclops and MODOK.
Yeah, well, it wasn't that kind of party. Everybody will be looking at us. Oh man, but shoot. All right, now you got me thinking. Marcus, I do not wear it. I don't wear it around the house. I don't wear it around town. In Central Florida, that would probably get me beat up twice over. So yeah. That's not something I'm going to do. But anyway, listen, like I say, I'll be keeping an eye on the Kickstarter, and I'll make sure we get some extra PR out for you before it's over. And enjoy your time in New York. You know,
Thanks so much, man. And yeah, that sounds great. I'll stay in touch with you guys about all of it. And once again, thank you for having me tonight and the help. I really appreciate it. It's awesome.
No, my pleasure, man. So, all right, take it easy. Thanks for doing
Awesome.
this, Jim.
Take care of you guys. Have a good night.
See ya. Oh man, Jim's always cool to talk to. And yeah, little did he know that I actually have a Cyclops costume, visor and everything, right? Well, you know, what are you gonna do? I actually have about 10 pages of scribbled memes and things that I was trying to write Cyclops into some Halloween stuff, but it's not working yet for me, unfortunately. But it will get there eventually. Go to Key West and I'll fit in, says Sorter's Hide. Probably. I do not sleep in it, Rick Welch, but it is like a big onesie. Give you that. Anyway, shoot. I want to even think about stuff like that. All right. So where are we going to go from here? I can tell you, you know, I had in my notes, I want to just remind everybody because it's on my mind and I haven't been doing enough proper talking about it. But, you know, ComicArtLive is less than 7 weeks away. I think it's just over 6 weeks away. So we... Thanks, Chris. So we've got some important dates coming up for those of you who are ready and raring to go with ComicArtLive 10, the weekend of November 16th and 17th. And that is that next Thursday evening during the show, we will roll out the mystery sketch signups. So that'll get started next week. I've got some email inquiries out to people as far as getting the artists to agree to who are going to be doing mystery sketches this year. So we'll have a preliminary list next Thursday when we start the sale. And then after that on Monday, did I write it down? I did. The 14th. Booth setup will start on Monday, October 14th. So we've made some small programming changes from the May show. Nothing major. I think Maureen might have a few other things to wrap up, but it won't prohibit us from getting the booth setup started. So that's something that obviously we give everybody 2 months to get in there and get their, or, you know, 1 month to get in there and get everything set up. But I know everybody waits till the last minute, but at least it'll be out there. And my conscience is clear. I've given you almost 5 weeks to get your booth set up if you're a premium member and you want to put art for sale in it. So for those of you who are thinking about it, you got like another 45 days to figure out what artwork you might want to drop. So yeah, any questions on ComicArtLive, just let me know. We'll be sending out some mailings, I think, beginning next week to all the premium members, reminding them that everything's, you know, setup's coming up and to just get ready for it. And outside of that, that's about all I got on ComicArtLive right now. But I know I've been getting inquiries about mystery sketches. So next Thursday on the 10th, during ComicArtLive, I'll put the link out there, and we'll let everybody know on the CAF update how to do it. I don't know what are those dolphins, Marcus? We talk about flippers. Carl, hey Carl, good to see you, and Marco, good to see you in the chat too. Stingray wants to know what is selling via booth separate in addition to the classifieds on CAF. Yeah, Stingray, yes. Well, that's true. You are kind of new to CAF. Yeah, twice a year we do a virtual show. We started doing it in May of 2020. If you are a premium member, you can exhibit for free. It is out. It's a totally independent, separate section of CAF when the show starts. I could kind of show you a little bit. I mean, just to give you an idea how, you know, I'm sure there's some other people who don't know anything about ComicArtLive, but here, let me share a screen. Let's see. Yeah, this one here. Oh, but I don't want my. How do you flip it around? Let's see. If I go to here and then there we go. So ComicArtLive is a link in the menu. This is just kind of the prelim page, but I can actually go into last year's or the last show in May. None of you guys can, but since I'm an admin, I can see it. So ComicArtLive Stingray is a totally separate show. Last May we had. Right now, there's 6,300 artworks still in there. I think we got to around 6,800 artworks for sale. There were close to 400 exhibitors, people who've kind of closed their booths and everything. So that number's down to 362 now. But anybody who's a premium member can create an exhibitor booth, and they're allowed to post 48 artworks in total to their exhibitor booth. basically it's 2 art drops. They get 24 pieces of art that drop on Saturday of the show, and then another 24 that drop on the on Sunday morning. And they get 48 items in the booth for sale. Premium members get 2 hours early access to the virtual art con. So the hall's open to the general public at 1 p.m. on Saturday, but premium members get in at 11. Around 10:30 before the premium hall access starts, we actually send out a keyword alert to everybody who's a premium member, letting them know which artworks are available that match their keywords. So it makes it real easy for people to go in and in that first hour or two check out all the pieces they may or may not be interested in. And a lot of people kind of get done on day one within the first couple hours. But it's a fun show because not only do we have collectors really participating in it and showing off a lot of new art for sale, but dealers are participating. We have a lot of artists that utilize the show to sell. Veronica and Andy Fish have been regulars there, and Jeff Isherwood has done the last couple. Who am I thinking of? Not thinking of. Vosberg has used the show to sell his artwork in. The Frame Brothers. I mean, a lot of people have chosen to use the virtual show as a place to sell. So it's a lot of fun. And last May, I think we had just over $1 million in total sales, which was good. We had a few shows in between or right after that where we're around like 800,000, but everything's kind of swinging in the other direction now. So it's good. Adam Hughes, thank you, Chuck Arnold. Yeah, Adam Hughes has used ComicArtLive to sell a lot of work. Actually, I even by way of a friend picked up a piece from ComicArtLive once too. So it'll have a special email for the show, says Marcus. Yes. So at any rate, but yeah, it's broken down like that. I mean, I didn't really show you anything, but exhibitor booths. It's kind of cool because when the show's going, if you go over to the main search, it gives you the opportunity to kind of see everything that's for sale, but also for those people who like to kind of keep track and see how things are going, you can actually just filter it and look at what's been sold. So, one of the more expensive pieces that sold in the last show was a Jack Kirby Incredible Hulk issue 3 page, went for $55,000. Amazing Spider-Man cover went for $50,000. An X-Men 2 page for $36,000. So it's kind of like our own virtual sporting event in its own weird way of getting to see what CAF collectors and dealers are selling during the show, and I think it just kind of solidifies the fact that CAF, there's a lot of power behind that. We had made a slide. I think it's still in this deck too. Where is it? I was trying to compare. This was before everything was kind of closed, but we were trying to say, how do sales compare on a ComicArtLive weekend to even eBay? And at the time when we closed it, we were at just under $1 million in sales, and I showed that in a day and a half, we sold as much as eBay would sell in 48 days, and with only 600 sales, we did just as much as what eBay would take. 6,000 sales to get to, and the number of items even available for sale. eBay has to have 125,000 items available for sale to even reach that figure over 48 days. We only needed 6,200 in a day and a half to reach it. So it's the show is actually very much ingrained in, I think, collectors' minds, and it's something that even if they only spend a half hour looking at the keyword alerts that go out, and then spend a few hours just kind of browsing around, it's something that everybody kind of puts on their calendar and looks forward to. Usually in the really over the course of the entire weekend, there's about 25 to 30,000 unique collectors that come to the website that weekend just for the show. So there are definitely there's nothing else out there like it. And as Kazra mentioned, we do 2 days of live panels, which include art sale shows. We did our first Joelle Jones art sale was during a 45-minute panel with her in May. Jiggy and the Next Comic Art crew always do a sale show with us on Saturday evening at 9. So yeah, it's evolved into something that's a lot of fun. Paulo Rivera has done 8 of the 9 shows, and he always auctions off some pieces in his live stream, which is typically 1 or 2 p.m. on Sunday. Again, there's just things that we've all kind of gotten accustomed to and look forward to and sort of expect to see happen every 6 months. So it's in May and it's in November, and I might as well just show the schedule right now, because right on there the the next Comic Live is November 16th and 17th of 2024. And we've already got the dates for next May, which is the 17th and 18th in 2025. So you can just already kind of put those dates on your calendar and be ready for them. And rest of the schedule here for my streaming stuff. I may have an international preview with Heritage next week. I don't know if we will or not. I haven't gotten confirmation from Joe yet. I should probably email him in the morning and find out if I'm doing that or not. It would be cool. I wouldn't mind doing it, but it's a question of whether or not they want to do that over across the pond, because we're probably end up having to do an early show. I think the last time we did it was at 7 p.m. So we'll see. Then I've got Mr. Jiggy Cruz hanging out with me next Tuesday for a collector interview. John McCrae, the Saturday after next, we're going to be doing an art sale with him. I actually have, I think I've got all of his scans now, and the art's in the mail. I think it arrives here tomorrow. But, I won't show anything tonight, but I'll show off some stuff next week. I've got Steve Yarish on for an interview the Tuesday after that. We've got Fred Hembeck coming on for an art sale. That was Saturday. We're moving Hembeck's sale to Sunday because Kazra and I are going to be at IX, and we don't fly back until Saturday afternoon. And so I asked Fred what date he'd like to move it to. I gave him a bunch of options, and he said the next day. So Sunday at 2 p.m. We'll be competing with NFL football. But Fred is game if you're game, and we've got that other Stranko homage piece that was published in the Buyer's Guide. I know that he is sending a Marvel Age Spidey piece. I think I might have the scan for that. But I'm not going to show it tonight. But he's giving me another 4 or 5 published pieces, and I think 3 commission style pieces. So yeah, all that's coming up. Mike Oming on the 2nd of November. Joe Linsner again on the 9th of November. Joe, of course, is going to OAX. So I haven't talked to him in a while, but I hope to see if he might be open to taking some pre-OAX. I'm wiping the word con from my library. I'm going to call them pre-OAX commissions from now on. But I'd love it if Joe would do it, because obviously he doesn't take pre-con stuff really ever, and it would be really nice, even if he only could fit like 3 in. I'd be happy for that, and I'm sure anybody who could get on his list ahead of a show would anybody who likes Joe's work knows how hard it is to get a piece from him even at a show. So I'll try not to, West. That would not be wise. Then what else we got? Ed McGuinness is going to do a hero panel. I don't know. I put him in at 2:00 right now, but that's during the Comic Art Live weekend in November. It probably will be later in the day, though. My guess is probably like 4 or 5 p.m. So there you go. And then we'll have TAMD1 will be on my list on the 19th. And how? And as everybody's wondering, why did I not mention it? Jim Halpern from Heritage Auctions. I haven't. I just asked him if he would do it, and he gave me the date of the 29th. So we haven't really talked too much about it. But yeah, Jim Halpern, who what did he do? He introduced the best ofs with me. I think that was in 2023. He did the intro with that show, and back then he told me he would do an interview. We just had to schedule it. So we finally scheduled it. So we'll have him on as well. And yes, that'll be a good time. I like Jim a lot. We don't get to talk too often. In the early days of CAF and Heritage, we didn't talk a lot, or it was infrequent, but at least every month we exchanged emails about different things and ways that stuff that I was working on, and it was always kind of fun. And the last 10 years or so, it hasn't been as we don't have the time. That's what it boils down to. So being able to BS with him for an hour or two is going to be a good time. So tune in, and I'm sure some of you will bring heritage related questions, and you're more than welcome to do that. All right. So what else I got here? Now, I did put the link in my email and that I sent out today, but many of you hopefully got the chance to see the Baltimore video clip that Tom McDonald put a ton of time in, and Carl helped him doing an interview on that one as well with Dan Jurgens, and Tom, of course, talked to Walt Simonson. So, we posted that to the channel earlier today because it's about 11 and a half minutes, and I knew that I wouldn't have the time to play the thing. So it's a standalone video clip, posted around 2, and I should pull the link up here since we're talking, right? All right. I feel bad not to be able to link it in here, but the people did get to it because I think it had 100 views. I don't know. Where is it at? It's got 163 views on it right now. Here, I'll copy the link and paste it in here. So if you can save it for later. Yeah, you can, you know how you can do that. You press the little banner icon and it lets you save it to watch it another time. So that's part 1 from Baltimore. Tom is working on the second part to that has a couple more views on it as well. So that will probably drop next Thursday. We'll probably do the same thing. I'll drop it around 2 o'clock, link it in the mailing, and share it with everybody here too. Number 1 Marvel fan said the Walt interview was great. Yeah, Tom definitely did his homework and prepared for that one, and it was well edited. So yeah, thank you, Tom, and everybody contributed to making that thing what it was. I did have a couple video clips and photographs sent to me by Mr. Rich Cirillo, and it's I kind of just put it together, and it's a 2-minute little video clip, but just shows off really some of the artwork that he picked up while he was at Baltimore, and he was sitting there during the Hero Initiative auction while Walt Simonson's piece was being auctioned. So, and Walt is actually talking about the piece while he's walking around the room. So it's kind of fun. But here, let me give you a little taste of that. So about 2 minutes. Rich Cirillo, the only person on CAF who probably likes the Elementals more than.
Loki's fighting style was basically to materialize knives in each hand, fire them, and then whirl around, materialize a new knife. And he was basically doing a sort of a dance with knives materializing time after time. And he did the dance and swirled around. And it was really cool. It was great. He was very funny, very sweet. And in the movie, I think that scene's in there for about a nanosecond. It was like he worked at this whole thing. It's not in the movie, but it was very cool. So I thought for this drawing, I would go ahead and get a little bit of time.
All right, here's the video 17.
It is for Hero.
It is for Hero. It is for all right, so we are going to do 16,000 going once.
We'll take a picture of you with Walt and we'll tell you you're very pretty.
16,000 going twice. So,
No, it was not like Heroes, right? It was a very intimate auction. I think it always is. I mean, when I helped Scott do the 2022 Baltimore auction, I think, and there was definitely more people at that one, maybe like 40 people in the room. But yeah, that show right there, it didn't look like there were a lot, maybe 20. So nothing like Heroes or what we had at OAX last year, and what I expect to have at OAX this year too. We're kind of anticipating 500 people in the room bidding. That's I don't know what Hero has. They probably have a little bit more than 500, but this next year's OAX auction is going to be something to see. That's for sure. But yes, the old guy yelling at everybody to shut up. Remember, that old guy works with Steranko, so don't mess with him. That's all I got to say. His name is Manny, and he will poke you in the eye if you give him a hard time. What is this? Brian E says he just realized I didn't receive any emails from CAF except wireless. Isn't there a newsletter about which one? The one that I send out, Brian? I did send that out today. If that's the one you're saying you missed, it went out, I think, at 5:15. That's about when I set the timer on that one. James says he's going to take away that old guy's prunes. Okay. Stingray. Yes, you seem like a guy who would fight an old man if he tells you to shut up. I don't know, Brian. I would say check your spam. I mean, if you want, you can shoot me your email. I can tell you whether or not you're in the list. But if you're used to getting the Thursday email, then you should have got it. I mean, I would assume. I thought I got mine when it was sent out. I can take a look while I'm looking at the next thing in our segment, which is James Siegel's weekly flip. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it got sent out 5:15. Trying to song and dance my way until the MailChimp opens up and gives me. All right, I've never received it. I don't know. Yeah, shoot me an email, man. I can check for you just to see if there's something got gummed up. But every once in a while, I've had people. No, it definitely went out today at 5:15. So, but yeah, oddly enough, I've had like 2 or 3 people who have managed to unsubscribe themselves from the mailing list. People who've been regulars. So they very well could have happened, Brian, that that something could have happened. And maybe it's a MailChimp thing. I don't know. But in the last month, I had 3 people who asked me why they stopped getting their emails. And I went and looked, and they were unsubscribed. And it literally said, because MailChimp tracks when somebody unsubscribes and why they say it, why they want to unsubscribe. So yeah, shoot me an email, Brian, and I can look it up and give you a status on your account. Danny Hoskins says, I didn't get a newsletter either. All right. Well, I don't know. Anybody who didn't get an email today, shoot me an email. I'm happy to take a look at it, for each person, because obviously we want you getting our emails. It's no fun if we can't. So, all right. Well, now I did get out of the blue, James Siegel. He let me know that he recorded a weekly flip for us. It's about 9 minutes long. And James, the room was very dark. So I had to apply a little bit of brightness contrast on this thing to kind of make the artwork pop a little bit. So hopefully I didn't like oversaturate it, but I think I did okay. But yeah, James, as you know, he's the king or prince of DPS collecting. If you didn't know that that's his nickname around here for those who know him well. And of course he's a X-related fan of many things. So you can see a lot of mutants, a lot of DPSs, and a few other surprises here and there. So let's go ahead and take a look at the weekly flip. And when we're done, James will be hanging out with us, and I believe Chris Snork's going to pop in too at the same time. And we're going to take care of the sketchbook theme voting. We're going to conduct a poll after the weekly flip is over. So here we go.
Hey guys, I'm going to go ahead and do a art flip for you. I think it's been a while since we've had an art flip up on ComicArtLive, and I know it's been a while since I've done one. So what I'm going to focus on today is all the art that wouldn't fit in a 13 by 19 portfolio, so it's all of my large art. So I have my double page splashes, wraparound covers, etc. I even have a few pieces of art that wouldn't even fit into this larger 17 by 22. I kept the overhead lights off in this room so that you wouldn't get any glare. So let's see how it comes through. So let's just get started. So the first piece is Marvel Comics Presents number 151 wraparound cover by Steve Lytle. I want to thank Nick Barucci for allowing me to grab this from him. So, beautiful piece with Typhoid Mary in her various forms, Wolverine, Daredevil, Vengeance, and Steel Rain. This piece is X-Men vs. Brood, wraparound cover number 1. It was a 2-issue miniseries, and this is done by Brian Hitch and Paul Neary. And here is X-Men vs. Brood number 2, the second issue of that miniseries. This one's done by Carlos Pacheco, and Paul Neary inked it. Here's the wraparound cover for Rise of Apocalypse number 3 by Adam Polina and Scott Koblish. Love that Egyptian theme, and we hope to see that story carry out in X-Men 97 Season 2. Here is Inhumans Alpha Flight Annual 1998 by Tom Rainey and Hilary Barta. Wraparound cover. Let me do a rotation. right here is Cable number 20 by Ian Churchill and Hilary Barta. It's one of my favorite pages. It's a vertical double page splash, which is about the entire mutant roster on there. And, you know, the dialogue's pretty poignant. It's Professor X basically saying goodbye to the X-Men before the Mcron crystal destroys the world and the Age of Apocalypse begins. So this is the last page before the Age of Apocalypse, chronologically. Here we have a vertical double page splash from Ballistic Wolverine number 1 by Joe Benitez and Aaron Soward, S-O-W-D. Let's rotate again. We have a pair of pages from the Kubert brothers. First, from Adam, we have X-Men Onslaught, double page splash by Adam Kubert and Dan Green. And then we have a double page splash from X-Men number 50 by Andy Kubert and Cam Smith. Here we have a gorgeous Fantastic Four double page splash from Fantastic Four number 375 by Paul Ryan and Dan, and I'm going to butcher it, but I'm going to try it, Bulalandi. I don't know. He's a great inker, though. It's a gorgeous page. Okay, here's probably one of my favorite pages in my collection. This is the Excalibur Special Final Page Splash by Alan Davis and Paul Neary. This is the first time Excalibur officially becomes a team and starts their adventures for the decades that follow. So, wonderful page, and I really, really appreciate the collector that I got it from for letting me take care of it. Here we have a page from Ghost Rider number 6 by Javier Saltares and Mark Texera. This is from that wonderful early 90s Ghost Rider series. I just love Ghost Rider on the bike on that bottom panel. Here we have a page from X Factor Special, Prisoner of Love by Butch Geis. Here we have a page from Gambit miniseries number 4 by Lee Weeks and Klaus Janson. This one hasn't been posted yet, but this is a gorgeous, huge watercolor painting by Tony Moy of Psylocke, and it's from an upcoming Marvel project that I can't really disclose right now. But Tony did such a fabulous job on this painting. Really, really impressed. And if you don't know Tony Moy, he's one of the nicest guys in the business. Here's a couple fun ones. This is both by Tim Levins. This is from the X-Men 97 promotional art, and this is Gambit, and this is Storm. During Heroes, I actually had the voice actor sign the Storm one, and I'll probably get the Gambit one in the future. Can we do another switch? Of course, I'm going to have Chew art. So the first one is from the Comics in Ukraine Chew story. This is Poyo versus the Russians. These versus pages are fantastic, and there's one collector I was able to buy that bought all of them, but he stopped collecting, and so I was able to pick up the very last one that Rob did for the Comics of Ukraine. If you know Chew, you know the Poyo versus pages. And here's another page from Chew. This is Chew number 34. This is where the collector and Tony Chew face off. And both these are drawn and inked by Rob Gilroy. This one's a fun one. My son's really into Sonic the Hedgehog right now. I was looking at Sonic art, but I was able to pick up a really cool piece. So this is from Sonic number 1. There was a number 0, but from the mini-series before the 270 issue Archie run. And this is the center pinup spread featuring all the characters. So very, very early Sonic art with just about every character up into the time. So pretty happy to have one, and it's going to go up on my son's wall soon. So let me shift over to the art that was too big to put in the portfolio. First one, man. Guardians of the Galaxy number 19 wraparound cover by Art Adams. Just absolutely gorgeous. I mean, it's Art Adams, right? So everyone knows the work and the detail and everything that he puts into it. What's nice about the Guardians of the Galaxy run, it was the last main cover continuous run that Art Adams did, but for Marvel. Everything he's done after that, has been variant covers, or but he did a majority of the this Guardians of the Galaxy run's main covers, and this was the number 19, and has the Guardians of the Galaxy and Thanos, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. This is Age of Reptiles number 2 by Richard Delgado. If you're not familiar with Age of Reptiles, it is an award-winning book. The art is absolutely fantastic, and the entire story is told with no dialogue. So I definitely check it out from a visual masterpiece perspective. I won't linger too long on this one, Bill, but this is published Budroot Cave Woman from Bud's Beasts and Beauties number 2 with Miriam and the Son of Kong. This is one of Budroot's largest paintings he's ever done. The detail and the coloring are just fantastic. So happy to have it. Probably not going to put it up in the son's room or anything, but just a gorgeous painting. Here we have the promo art for the Gambit miniseries by Lee Weeks. This was actually done in 1990, so a few years before that series ever came out, and it was later used as a trade paperback cover. So it has Rogue, Belladonna, and Gambit, plus a bunch of villains, and of course the Eiffel Tower for imagery, but just a gorgeous piece of art by Lee Weeks. I have a few pieces framed. Most of my art I took off the frames because I'm in Oklahoma, and I replaced the actual original art with copies because I got tired of taking them off the walls during tornado drills or tornado warnings. So, but I have a couple pieces of original art still left in the frame, including this one, which was a board game published in Wizard Magazine by Duncan Reshlow. Just fun, a lot of little inside jokes. If you check it out on my calf, you can read all the game tiles, but it's really cool. So the last piece is pretty special, and it's massive. So that is the cover by an artist named Marquise Singh for Phoenix Resurrection, The Return of Jean Grey number 4. It's absolutely massive, and it's gorgeous. And let me see if I can capture, just all the detail of the feathers that went in there. So, very, very happy to have this piece. Markesh does a lot of his art digitally. He got a new set of pens and pins for this one, and wanted to try tackling something pretty epic traditionally. So that is my flip and my art tour. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Bill, it's all on you, sir. Take it away.
Oh my goodness. Well, here, who do we got in the green room? The man himself and Mr. Snork. Welcome to the show, guys.
Hey, I appreciate the editing, Bill, especially the coloring looked good. And then when you rotated the camera in the end, because it kind of screwed it up. And
I was like, how am I going to fix this? I'm like, all right, I'm just going to figure out, I'll just rotate it 90 degrees and make it blur and nobody will notice.
No, you did a good job. You did a good job.
Thank you.
I appreciate that.
I might pay for the day. Listen, have you ever done a flip? You don't need to do a flip. You basically do a flip every single week talking about other people's art. You don't need to talk about
No, Chris needs to do it. It'd just be a big thing flip. Just showing his thing over and over again.
I flip my thing around a lot.
Oh my God.
Call it the helicopter.
Anyway. Save it for the bar at OAX, on Saturday evening or whatever. But yeah, so we missed voting on last month's stuff, and it's already after October 1st. So James reminded me that I didn't have a sketchbook theme set up again. And usually October is the easy one. I would just throw in a Halloween theme, right? Monsters, whatever. You come up with something. But we decided we would do a vote for this month, and we're going to do November in advance. So I won't even have to think about that. It'll be all prepped and ready to go. But take it away, James. How are we going to do it?
Yeah, let me go ahead so we got the share screen. Oh, I don't have admin access anymore.
Oh man, well, I do. I can handle it for you. Sorry, it does expire after like 45, 60 days, something like that, if you don't log in.
No worries. So we're gonna do it a couple, and we're just gonna do everyone's favorite thing, Slido. Hey, and by the way, I'll leave the question and answer section open. But let's go ahead and direct these questions to Chris Snorek this time versus me.
What?
Because I'm tired of it. Anyway, so we'll go through and really quick for the last 2 months. August was vacations, beach parties, and bikinis. That was a fun one to look through. and September 2024 was sports. So I picked 5 quick pieces just to kind of give you my highlights. I noticed the counts on the sketchbook were a little bit lower. I figured, people would flood the sketchbook, at least on the bikini side. So as we pick the theme for October, I'll ask you guys, let's go ahead and participate. Throw them out there and let's go ahead and share that art. Gives you an opportunity to post stuff that's been in your gallery for a long time and get a fresh set of eyes. So kind of enjoyed the sketchbook thing. So real quick, and you guys can comment on it too, but here's the 5 pieces I picked: 3 from bikinis, 2 from sports. I thought about doing all 5 for bikinis, but I thought it'd be fair. So we'll start. If you don't highlight something from Alberto, he gets really cranky. So I wanted to make sure, he actually posted a fantastic piece by Sowie. Big fan of Sowie. Most of the time you see like pinup type stuff from her. And this was a published cover. She's just starting to get more and more published art out there. This is a DC piece. So, I had to like it quite a bit in order for me to pick it. It shows Teen Titans, and the colors are gorgeous. The characters, I love that manga style. MAGA, no. Anyway, don't get political.
Say it another way. Say manga next time.
Manga. Yeah, fair enough. Thanks for the correct. Anime style that she does really, really well. All right. You can't have bikinis without Betty and Veronica. So there was a couple on there, and I picked the published piece. It did happen to belong to Jason D'Ambrosio. That was kind of a strike against it, but it was still a great piece. So it's a perfect vacation, right? You got Betty, Veronica, bikinis. They're hopping around in a hot convertible and driving down, the California coastline, 405. I think that's what it is. So you can't get a better vacation than that. So, Paulo Rivera, he does great art. This is a Fantastic Four on vacation. Sue's, you think she'd be invisible, but I'm glad she's not, because the art and coloring is gorgeous. That's what I'm getting at, Bill. No other reason. And I thought it was a great piece and a great post. Sports, Sweet Science, Muhammad Ali, Joe Frazier. Yeah, that's classic, man. Published page. I think this is posted by Shannon Weathers. So, I liked, right in the action, right in the ring, gets knocked out for the count. So I picked that one. And then I will tell you, I went against, I have usually a 1 rule. I'll never buy posts or pick anything with Nazi symbols. I just don't. There's been some, cap art and all that's been fantastic art, but that's just kind of a personal choice for me. But I did pick this one, a couple reasons. First, it was done in 1939, and it describes kind of World War II before America even entered the war. And then the guy who posted it, what kind of convinced me to do it, if you read the description, he basically gives you a History Channel lesson on the conflict and the page and the piece. So all the work he put in, the fact that I think I was looking at history here from a page from 1939, and, sports as the allegory for war. We see that a lot, even though the reality is a lot more horrific. I just thought it was a great post. So that's my picks. Any comments?
So we have to choose our favorite out of all.
No, I'm just showing you what I picked.
This is just you
That's
picking.
Yeah,
okay.
People post.
Any comments? No. Hey, I love Paulo Rivera. He can do no wrong. Other than that, what didn't? I saw that Jason had a piece in there, the Betty and Veronica, but he posted a piece from Sowie in his CAF gallery this week that was really nice. So you picked a piece from Sowie earlier, yeah. So no, I would never have guessed that Jason owns a piece of Betty and Veronica art.
I know he was
never would have guessed.
He wanted one, and he was looking for the right one, and the right one had to be Betty and Veronica in swimsuits, because that's just what you got. These are the original pinup girls in the comic world, right? So he found a nice one.
This checks that box.
Yeah, perfectly. But no voting. Just if you're going to post, I want to highlight some of the ones on there. Oops. So we're going to jump over to the actual Slido. So you guys know how this works. Everyone loves a good old Slido. So you pull out your cell phones, scan the QR codes. Bill and Chris, show them how it's done.
I'm doing it.
And this is going to be ranked choice voting. And I picked some topics that I've heard in the past, topics that have been positioned in the past, and some that are, thematically, focused on October. We mentioned horror, occult, costumes, Halloween, etc. So let's pull this up and let's knock this out. And then, of course, direct all your questions to Chris Norek.
It's going well.
Good. Good. Yeah, I'm glad to share the joy.
And I've got it all set up that I'm going to start the sketchbook as soon as we have a vote cast.
Okay, I'm going to cast one too. And I thought it's funny. This has gone through an interesting evolution. You guys have been my Slido guinea pigs because I actually use this in work through customer presentations and everything. So things that fail on this channel, like ranked choice versus quizzes, or certain, maybe I disable Q&A or not. So I appreciate you guys. You get no compensation.
It's all right. There we go.
All right.
Yeah.
We got 14. I like around 20 for a good sampling size. So we'll give it a couple minutes.
Yeah, we don't want to know who the anonymous questioner is.
It's Marcus.
I'm sure. Are we at 15 now? We're getting there. 16? Getting close.
Yes, when my beard is dry. Do you have... Oh, look, I'm answering my own questions. I'm multi-talented. You have boulders or pebbles?
I said marbles. I want it to be in the realm of realism.
All right.
17. Getting there. Getting closer. Come on, peoples. Let's get them in there. We can get this thing wrapped up.
How long before it's not considered a rash? I think if it's over 3 days, go see your doctor.
I said
17,
a week, but as your physician, I'm going to need pics.
Yeah. We'll put a disclaimer. All right. 2. Yeah. We're gonna do a 20-second countdown. Not out loud. That's annoying.
No, but I am ready to go. Ready to create the October sketchbook.
All right. We're gonna call it
19.
19. I like 9. No. Last. Oh, one person participating. Come on.
Come on.
We're waiting on you. I think that's is that
Bring
Rick?
it home.
Nope, they gave up.
Oh, all right. Yeah, well, cool. Halloween. See, that works. November is non-traditional costumes. October will be horror and occult. Wait, is that? No, it's not tied. So we're going to freeze it right here. Cool.
There you go. And I've created the room, so it's ready to go. Anybody who wants to post their horror and occult related.
Oh, the first 3 people or first 2 people that post it, I will be sure to absolutely highlight your art, unless it's just really inappropriate. And then I will absolutely be sure to highlight your art. So go, like starting now. First 2 people, I'll make sure that I show their art next time.
So James, I got to ask, man, you've been posting a lot of artwork to CAF lately. A lot.
Mm-hmm.
Are you like churning it too? Or are you like getting rid of it to bring it in? I don't know how you do it.
Yeah, there's a combination of there's a little bit of churn. A lot of it has. I've had the opportunity to do some pretty successful trades, right? So there's been some trades. So there's been some art that's been posted before that's no longer there. And I got that God Loves Man Kills page, which is one of my favorite graphic novels. I was able to connect with the guy, and I did do trade up. One of the pages that I gave him was my existing God Loves Man Kills page, and a couple things to bridge the gap. And I thought it was a pretty successful trade. There has been some acquisitions. There was an unexpected sell of a page that the person that reached out provided a very, very generous offer, and that's kind of reset some of the bankroll. I've been fortunate where my work has been going very, very well. So that I've been able to add a little bit to the art budget. But I will kind of tell you, I've got a CAF gallery that's to be posted, and it still has like 15 pieces.
Whoa.
Yeah. Now, a lot of them are, I'm going to do a multi-drop day. because there's about 7 or 8 of them that are fun pages, but not showstoppers or anything along those lines. So we're just gonna do I'll do it on Monday. I'll do a multi-art Monday or something like that. Just do a 9-page drop. But I do have some stuff in the pipe, and yeah, man, I've been, pinch. It's been a good run, and
Well, I get to repost my entire X-Men published gallery, so that might rival whatever you have, but it's a bittersweet moment when I get to do that.
Hey, I still offer you that trade for that Sylvester.
I know. Hey, I know you've made a couple fair trades.
Paul Smith. It was a Paul Smith, but
it was.
It wasn't a classic one. It wasn't.
No. I don't even want to think about a Paul Smith trade for it, because I actually would probably consider it for the right Paul Smith.
Yeah, no, you won't.
Man, so you're gonna hang out while we do the rest of the show?
Sure. I'll
jump
in and answer questions that come up in the queue, the chat on random times. But I won't interrupt you guys to keep the show flowing. And Snorek and you actually know how to talk to art and how to talk to the details. To me, it's just all a gut.
Pronounce artist names and
techniques and this person's a style of this. Like, I don't know any of that. It just looks cool. No, it's nostalgic and it looks good. That's what I go by.
Cool. Well, then we'll do our CAF update thing. I'm gonna do my heritage picks and show off an EXP video, and then get this thing rolling. So I got to share my heritage screen here.
Let me.
I got to remove yours there too, and go over here. So yeah, we'll go ahead show off my heritage picks. So that was my last one. Let's see. I want to start over here.
Evan.
So yeah, Grendel's. Oh wow, it's already at 1550. It wasn't that high at all when I looked at it earlier.
Daniel Warren Johnson's probably buying this.
I mean, the layout is spectacular, right? And the storytelling is amazing. There's like nothing wrong with this page. And I actually picked another page by Evan too, because and it's surprising. I'll be honest. I could have picked, and I literally had about 25 windows of heritage stuff open when I was trying to pick my 10. There was that much good stuff in this one, and not all like they're not talking like $10,000 pages, but there was a lot of really good pieces of art in this.
That's an amazing page.
Yeah. Well, that one, and then take a look at this human target page right here. 9 panels, Edmund again. It's wonderful. I mean, I don't even have to know the details. I didn't read human target. I think this is just a beautiful page. So consecutively, I think somebody's smoking an aqua bong in that like 7th panel too.
Oh, you better get this.
I probably should. And look, it's only at $1 compared to that other page. I might have a chance at this one. And I'll have to say, I bid on 3 of the. I bid on 3 of the pages that I'm showing today. I won't say which ones, but I'm sure you guys will be able to guess. So yeah, and I mean, I would never pick the same artist twice, but I just thought these 2 pieces were exceptional, and I don't feel like I've seen any artworks on the Heritage Weekly auction by them before. So clearly, some consignor probably just handed them over, because there was a few other similar pieces out there. Like I picked this one from Flaming Carrot Comics, because I mean, how often have we seen anything by Bob Burden? On a weekly basis. But believe it or not, there's I think there's 2 or 3 like convention sketches of Flaming Carrot by Burden in this auction as well. And they were all really cool too. I actually had one of those set aside, and then I'm like, well, published page is better to show off than that, because again, you don't see this stuff too often. I mean, they're not super duper expensive or anything like that, but interesting to see. What was the next piece I picked? Now, I could skip over Buscema, Palmer, Avengers pages all day on Heritage Weekly auctions anymore, because there's always like 5 or 6. I thought this one was great. It's a nice Kirby homage, lots of Kirby machinery, Kirby crackle, and I mean, I really like this one, and I have been. I totally just ignoring them, and I came across this one. I was like, it's solid.
Yeah, I always liked when they did Captain Marvel's power effect like that too, when she had become light.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at it now. I feel like I should throw a bid on this one too. It's great. It really is a good page.
Put one on there.
There's a couple really. Sorry.
No, I was gonna say put one on there, Bill. It's a tracking bid.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I can do that. I haven't.
There's a couple of pretty rabid Monica Rambeau fans out there, though.
There definitely are. Yeah, deservedly so. I mean, she's a cool character. Costume's cool, and definitely has not appeared enough in comics. Kind of like Stingray. Yeah, it's kind of the same kind of thing there. What is this? Chuck says, haven't thought about Flaming Carrot in a long time. Page looks nice. It did look nice. Again, it's rare to see that kind of stuff. But again, if you go over to the weekly auctions, check it out. I think there are 3 con sketches, and they're all really good by Burden as well. Preach, says Stingray. What was the next piece here? Al McWilliams, Twin Earths. I don't know if I've seen anything by them, on this title before. I've seen McWilliams work before, but I thought it was pretty nice. It's kind of a piece that I haven't seen on Heritage Weekly before. I'd be curious to see if there's a lot of McWilliams art on Caft. I bet you there's not. And this is a tough one to zoom in on, but yeah, I mean, it's a solid 2-page strip. I mean, they kind of hard to pull off, and I like this one a lot. And what are we at? $57 on that one. What do we got next? So this was a what if story page. This was Ron Lim with Terry Austin inks. I just thought it was great with the panel layout, surfer flying, and kind of in the same angle as the panel layout. And it doesn't matter to me that it's a what if and not a Silver Surfer book. I think the art's great, and you get Austin inks on it too, so it's a real solid page. And there are a lot of what if fans out there.
Yeah.
What is that at, Bill?
210.
Oh,
so it's early, but again, I mean, look at that. It's a solid. It's a great
Surfer in space, man. Ron Lim.
Yeah.
Beautifully. Yeah.
Then this is I guess a con sketch, right? Kubert and Russ Heath. You got Sergeant Rock and Jeb. I mean, how cool is that? I mean, I don't care. This would be one of those pieces where I don't care that it's Talon. All right, I'd be happy to own this piece, right? I mean, you get 2 of the best artists in war centric stories, doing convention sketches on the same page. I mean, there can't be another piece like this on the planet.
It's really cool to have like the 2, like they're contemporaries, right? That's another like nice factor.
Yeah.
But I mean, Heath is almost like showing Kubert up here with the inking job.
I know. I thought the same thing. Kubert is a little loose there, but I mean, it's Kubert probably did his first,
right?
If he had done it second, he probably would have put a little Richard Blacks in there or something. But it's okay. I mean, at the end of the day, I thought this is one of the pieces I've been on. I just thought it was too cool. I won't get it, but it was fun to put a bid on that one. Then this was what was it? I forget now. It's Tony Daniel. That's right. Tony Daniel, Danny Mickey. This is something from Batman Devastator. I don't know. Anytime you get Superman getting clocked like that.
That's Batman actually as Doomsday.
Is it really?
Yeah, you notice the like ears?
Yeah, I guess so. I had no idea.
Is that from Dark Knight Metal?
Huh.
I don't think so. No, I can't remember the scenario. I just know that's doing. He's even got a cape.
That's it. Well, now I want to go.
Oh, actually, now that I see, he's got the bat symbol on his chest too.
Yep. Okay, I did not see that.
That's a great looking image.
It is. I mean, I love this piece. I love the panels all craggy like that. I mean, I think it's great. It's kind of a hard one to. I don't know. I had a few other pieces in mind, but then this one I just kept coming back to. It's too good.
And for Tony Daniel, that's very, very dialed in.
Metal, says Carl's Collection. And Tom McDonald, a guy who loves his DC, says Batman is Doomsday. Sometimes DC is so weird. Yes, I agree. Bruce Wayne is infected by the Doomsday virus. All right.
Looks good on him.
Yeah. Now here, this one, this is Basil Gogos, if you can believe it. You always think of him just doing the, famous monsters stuff. This is from a men's magazine illustration. No swastikas on here, of course. I just thought this was a really interesting composition. And when we think of Gogos, we always just think of single character bust Frankenstein images or Gilman or something. And I just really never thought of Gogos as doing work like this. I mean, there's 15 characters on in this image, and it's dynamic lighting. It's a whole scene and storytelling. And I just don't. I feel like I haven't seen a lot of Go-Go's work like that before. And I was like, shoot, I got to feature this. It's really a striking image.
Yeah, unique for sure.
Mm-hmm. All right, 2 more. You did say unique.
Was it the hot dog or was it the sketch that draw?
Oh, it was the hot dog.
It was the hot dog.
Does anybody own a Jim Lee hot dog sketch? Come on, nobody's going to raise their hands because nobody does. Here's the only one, your only chance that you can ever own a Jim Lee hot dog sketch.
I think it's a Polish sausage, man. Sorry to break it to you.
It may be. Well, then Heritage described it wrong.
Yeah, get your money back.
But yeah, I saw. I mean, come on, you come across something like that. What was I supposed to? I threw a bid on it, and then I made sure it was in my top 10.
I'm glad they posted it in the order that they did.
I wonder, when you interview Jim Lee on a CAF Live one day, Bill. What's the weirdest thing
about this one?
Asked you ever to draw?
I'll tell him I put this in my top 10 one day.
Yeah.
So, but I'll be able to tell him he was in my top 5 X-Men artists. But you're absolutely right, Chris. I bet you the photographer, the first time they laid these down, and took the picture, they had it the other way around, and then realized they might lose their job if they left it that way. I'm
surprised that's not in the premium Heritage signature.
Well, I've got my tracking bid on it. It's only at $3 right now. But you never know.
Berkey will buy it and say it was a prelim for a Nathan's ad.
Or put on a like an overlay with stats and say it's a published one.
There you go.
NSN Art says top 5 hot dog artists. Yes, he is. He's my number 1. Number 1. Oh shoot, man. I'd love to know the story behind this. Marcus can probably find out for us, but
he probably commissioned it.
He probably did. Oh man. And then a Dean Ormston piece from Lucifer. I really do like Dean's work. I mean, I haven't read a lot of comics, but I've always enjoyed his style. I just love his blacks, his subtlety and lighting and everything. And there's just something I've just always admired about it. Again, I can't even say I really ever read anything. I read a little bit of Lucifer, but I don't even remember it. I just really like his approach to characters and lighting, and I don't know why it's only at $1. It's only $1. It's only been one day, but still.
Bid 2 right now.
You want me to throw a bid on it to get it up to $2?
$2.
I don't think I'm logged in right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't think
I promise you will.
Yeah, my secret maximum bid here. Okay, I'll do it. I'll put a $2 bid on there. But see, I'm not logged in. Never fails. Here you go. Confirm my bid. I've been out there. All right. Well, I tried.
The dream is dead.
Oh man. Well, there you have it. There's my Heritage picks for this week. So, what else? Everybody's having a good time in the chat tonight too. Nice to see Jeff Wedding. Jeff, I haven't seen Jeff in the chat tonight.
My $2.
Mm-hmm. All right. So EXP is tomorrow, 7:00, and I think what is it? Nick is back on the wagon. He's selling artwork. I did not get a chance to view this before I plugged it into the studio, so I have no idea what he's selling tomorrow either. But so it'll be a surprise to me. But 7:00 tomorrow, you can watch Nick have a good time, hanging out and selling his artwork. So let's take a look at what he is selling.
Everybody, this Friday, which happens to be October 3rd, I was going to say September 30th. It's October 4th. Amy just corrected me again. I'm going to keep getting it wrong, so I'm not going to say that Friday's October 4th or any other day. 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, the original art experience. We got some really great art. Oh my God. Frank Robbins and Frank Springer, Invaders Annual, Submariner, Human Torch, Captain America, and look, a shark boat. Then we have Thing number 6, page 1 splash by Kieran Dwyer. This is awesome. Then we have 2 Sentry pages, Sentry number 5, page 2 and 3. We've all seen all the attention that the Sentry's getting. I'm going to sell these as a pair. Then we have 2 limited edition prints. These are Sean Phillips, Kill or Be Killed. They are gorgeous. They will be on the air. Then, for people who love Dynamite, we're going to have Army of Darkness, number 1, pages 4 and 5 by Cuber Ball. Look at how fantastic that is. Then, for the Don Newton fans out there, I've got Detective 498, page 1 splash, page 2 as well. I mean, come on, Blockbuster coming out of the water saying find Batman, kill Batman. That's pretty awesome. Then I probably should have put this on the air back in July. We've got Wolverine Deadpool combo right here by Steve McNiven. And we have this beautiful Batman Grendel commission by Matt Wagner. And I'm going to try and have a few high-end pieces. We'll have our affordable pieces. And we are going to have at least, I think, 5 or 6 Ken Hazer covers of some of our Dynamite titles. So this Friday, October 4th, got it right, yes! 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific on the Original Art Experience. See you then. Hit that thumbs up. Share. Sharing is caring. Thank you all. Take care.
There you go. Sharing is caring, as we all know. James, did you notice I was wearing your shirt?
I know. I'm excited.
Hey.
I think Nick
go
needs
full
to give
screen. For
away,
those of you who didn't know, James did a little charity shirt thing last OAX. And what does it say? What does it say, James?
It's easy scoring your trophy piece when you're hanging at Megacox. That's Aranga D's art too.
Yes.
He did
digitally drawn, so nobody has the original, unfortunately.
You know what? I'm still trying to convince him to do an inking of the digital drawing for the OAX auction. He didn't have time last year, so we'll see if he can get it done this year. No, I was going to say
Nick's did okay last year, though.
What's that?
His piece at the auction did okay last year.
Exactly. That's what I was just going to say. I'm really curious to see what he does for this year because I mean he was like the talk of the show. You know,
did you see his double page X-Men splash spectacular thing he posted?
I did. I'd love to see him take something like that to OAX. Clearly, it would do pretty well, I think. But yeah, Aranga's gotten very good. Every piece seems to just kind of like he raises the bar a little bit. So yeah, I mean, it's fun.
He's got a sketchbook out there too. Oh, look at him! I'm shilling for him.
You are.
He released.
Are you his rep or something like that?
Huh?
Are you his rep?
And this is how I earn my free art, my free Megacox commission. So anyway.
All right. Well, we'll get on with the CAF update. I don't think we're going to see any of Aranga's art in the CAF update tonight, but there's plenty of art on CAF for those of you who aren't familiar with Aranga's artwork. Now that you got to see
you're shilling for.
I am? Okay. It's your turn now, Chris. Come on. All right, come on. Let's see. Man, tough crowd tonight. So, CAF update. It was from what period? The 23rd through the 29th was the time period. Dealers, I don't know what they do. They took the whole week off except for Felix. I think it was $131,000 in sales compared to $243,000 the week before. 131. Felix made up $50,000 of that. On most of that on one sale because he did a complete book, which we'll see in a second. But Albert Moy had 35,000, Anthony had 16, Glenn had 13, and Mike's not even on the list. So I don't know what was going on.
Wow.
Yeah, very peculiar. 131.
Albert's probably thrilled though because the Mets beat the Brewers tonight.
Oh yeah, he probably is.
Yeah.
We were talking with him the other day, and he seemed kind of grumpy, but he's probably having a good time tonight.
What?
I don't know. What? I know Albert grumpy. Surprise. But yeah, so let's see what the top 6 sales were. My son told me I did something wrong on this, but I don't even know. The video could be wrong. I downloaded it while we were streaming, so I haven't had a chance to preview this. So if it's wrong, I'll correct myself after the fact. But it doesn't look like it. Price is right, 131,760. First piece was Riley Rosmo's "The Moon Is Following Us," sold complete with the cover for $30,000. Then what do we got next? There was a John Cassaday Fortnite Marvel Zero War cover that sold for $10,000 on Albert's site. Then we have a Jim Lee TNT Promotions Batman image that sold for $8,000. Albert Moy again, of course. Then next up is a George Perez New Teen Titans page from issue 15. Super memorable page, actually. I mean, I love this page. I would be happy to own it. $7,500.
I feel like that's a bargain.
Yeah, doesn't that feel a little light? I mean, that's a little weird. I'm kind of surprised. Glenn must have mispriced that one. But again, here's another Jim Lee Superman TNT Promotions. I'm not sure what that's from. $6,500 sold by Albert, and then another new Teen Titans page sold by Glenn for $5,500.
Wow.
That I don't know. I thought that those era pages were always a little bit more than that. I don't know. I could be wrong.
Baka there.
I've always felt like I'm out of the market at Teen Titans Prez, from the early stuff. But
they kind of did sell instantly, so
yeah. I mean, at $7,500 for that one seems a little light. I mean, literally that page, I can remember that page from reading the book, and yeah, that's weird. Oh well, so they sold fast. You pay that you're able to, yeah, okay.
Well, I always think I have a couple friends who are dealers, and one in particular is a newer dealer, and whenever he posts art and it sells instantly, he goes, "Man, I posted it too low," and then when it sits there, "Man, I posted too high." I'm like, "What do you want, man?"
Yeah.
How long should it sit?
What's just right?
Yeah, right. What's Goldilocks? I'm like, no, if it's not you sell it, move on.
Yeah. No, I know. When we do the claim sale shows, or even the art sale shows with the artists, you just never know sometimes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whoever thought we'd be saying Glenn priced something too low?
I know, that's why it's actually really shocking.
Crazy pills.
You see it, and you'll especially when it's a little bit more modern. I picked up some really nice stuff.
I don't know. There's something wrong with those prices. So I got a moth in here, and it's bugging the crap out of me. Yes, there's something wrong with that. But even Mark Fong says 7,500, 5,500 are.
It could have been a consignment that consigner.
Yeah, but you would think anybody who's taken that would have been like 9,500 and 7,500 or something. I mean, yeah, I don't know. All right, so if something big flies across my screen, I'm sorry, I can't get it. Anyway, it is what it is. Congrats to whoever picked those pieces up, because I would have tried to figure out how to buy the $7,500 one way or another. I've always wanted to get a Titans page.
That was a beauty.
Yeah. All right, well, let's look at the auction stuff. Maybe this is one my kid's talking about that I did it all wrong. But let's see. Auctions, $262,000 last week, $341,000 the week before. So that's a little light. eBay was 116 of that, and Heritage was 146. So that's Heritage being on the light side. Usually they're around 200,000. So we can blame them for this. So let's see. What were the top three? Now, this, I see. My son's saying I had my descriptions wrong. Yep. See, I'm bummed now. And this is obviously not going to show what we wanted to see.
It'll be on the website.
Yeah, it's on the website, everybody. He was right. The first three text descriptions I had on those were wrong. So, all right. Well, we don't have to talk about those because I had them wrong at all. But I can say that at least from the Heritage picks that we did last week, the Bermejo Batman illustration that I showed off as one of my picks sold for $28.80, and it was the third highest sale last weekend. So there's that. And that was just a head sketch. You remember that one, Chris? It was decent, but $2,800. I mean, that's when a guy's not doing traditional work anymore.
Right.
9x12 or so head sketches can go for almost $3,000. Yeah, it is what it is. All right, picks. We get to do our picks, and I've got them all in one set of tabs this week, so I don't have to screw around anymore. I was so happy. I was like, I didn't screw myself again like last week. So let's see here. Let me share my screen. Chris is going to get to go first.
Terrible pick, Chris.
Thank you.
Whose collection is this in? So I'm not even familiar with who this collector. Who are they?
I don't know. I don't look at the names.
Texador. I don't think I've ever been in their gallery before. Jose Gonzalez. Can't click on it though.
That was the downside. Is
there's no description.
He did do nice additional images though, so there are some more close-ups.
Yeah, that's weird. It just says published page.
Yeah.
Gosh. Oh man, you couldn't see the detail in the pencil work on the larger
but
scan.
Look at these.
Shoot! Holy crap! That's unbelievable.
I know, really, really incredibly tightly rendered pencils. It even in that kind of washed out main image, it jumps out at you from the thumbnail. And I, know nothing about the subject matter. Honestly, I didn't recognize the name of the artist either, but this is just really, really high level draftsmanship, and the rendering is so incredibly tight, and the light and the shade is, I mean, you could make an argument that on some level it's easier to do this in pencil, but I mean, Lord Almighty, it's beautiful.
Yeah, no, I'm kind of shocked. I would never have picked it. I saw it, but looking at the detail, that's that throws you over the edge. I mean, composition's great and everything, but boy, when you take a look at that, I mean, just even the rendering in the background, let alone the figures, the facial expressions. I mean, this is like Gil Elfgren kind of quality work here, and just all in pencils. It's beautiful.
Was it in a flip book? Is that last picture?
What's that?
Look at the last picture.
Looks like an overlay, maybe to protect the pencil work on it.
Pencils, yeah, probably.
Okay.
I guess. Never know, but yeah, whenever I see a floor like this, I think it's
Lance Suarez.
Yeah, Suarez for one. He's always got the carpet. Who's the guy who has the tiles? It'll come to me later. I can't think of who it is. Somebody will remind me. At any rate, this is a great piece.
Would you see? Actually didn't bother, or maybe didn't have time. But are there other pieces by Jose Gonzalez on CAF?
Let's see. There's got to be.
It's credited as two different pencilers, which I
Jose and Pepe. I mean, did he? And some other people write Jose Pepe Gonzalez in their artworks. So,
well, nothing like that. Oh, there's maybe one. Is that Maryland?
Mike Berkey is trying to call me right now. I should put him on speakerphone just to.
Are you kidding me?
I'm not. Yeah, exactly. Hey, Mike, I'm not kidding you. You're on. No, I'm not going to do that.
You need oh, by the way, who was I talking to? You need a shirt that says, "I'm not your little buddy."
I'm not your little buddy. Anthony has a shirt like that. I would just be following it.
Oh, that's right. I told him to make it.
I can't do that.
Chat's saying that this is a Vampirella artist. That checks out.
Got it. Same.
Oh, did he do that famous image of her with the bat on her finger?
Well, I think that's Enric, but I could be wrong. What is it? Because even there it says, well, I don't know.
That's the one in Nick Rucci's CAF gallery, right? That wasn't this guy, I don't think.
Marcus and Rick both say yes, so there you go. Wow.
Okay. Nick owns that piece.
Wow. Okay, now I know who he is.
Yeah. All right. Mike has called me twice now in the last 2 minutes.
Marcus, you're almost right. Einhorn is Finkel.
I'm gonna call Mike and tell him to stop calling.
Yeah, text him and tell him we're in a live show right now.
But don't mute. Don't mute.
I'll call him after this. Okay. He literally just texts me, says, "Call me ASAP once your show is over." Okay, I get it. All right, Mike. Let me get it.
Bill's
if you're
live.
watching, Mike, hey, I'll call you.
Bill's live. We just wanted to let you know. You keep calling him live on YouTube.
He probably wanted to say, "I have artists by Pepe Gonzalez. Let everybody know."
Okay. Right, get me in the stream.
Because I'm live too. All right.
All right. So what do we got next? Wolverine number 3, pages 3 and 4. Adam Kubert.
My sir.
Look at that.
I know.
What's not to love about this? It's probably huge.
I'm sure it's huge. And it's got the Juggernaut versus Wolverine. So of course I love it.
That image right there.
Yeah.
That's what I love so much about it. Yeah, I loved the kind of historical progression elements on the page and the way he chose to kind of lay that out. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's amazing, and we could talk about his his talent and his skill all day long, but sometimes it is about the character, and this is a really, really tremendous Wolverine page.
Yeah, no, this is this was on my list, and you got it, so. I think this would have been on James's list too, right, James?
100%. And Adam hasn't missed a beat his entire career, it feels like. And,
right.
And it's almost like, he's responsible for all that fantastic 90s goodness. But his popularity, man, his line at cons and everything, it's just, he's doing regular interiors, regular covers.
Yep. Huge, but
he's killing it.
Yeah, nope, I agree. I feel very fortunate to have him down in Orlando. That he'll be back at OAX. He's a strong supporter of the show, and we got to have him at the house that one day, James.
Yeah, that was really cool.
that was a very fun experience. Yeah, getting to meet him. That was really the first time I got to talk to him too, like that. So, yeah,
very nice guy.
Where are we going to from here? Alberto Gonzalez and a cap cover from Marvel double feature. Captain America No More.
You made Alberto's entire week.
This is, I mean, he kind of made my week. I love seeing this thing because this is such a memorable cover. Like you can anytime somebody posts something that's of this caliber, we kind of have to talk about it because it's like a little piece of history, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that trade dress and Marvel double feature is so singular. You know, as soon as you see that, just that box, you know what you're looking at. So it just like, you know, takes you right back there. It's such a cool image of Red Skull. I mean, I don't know. It's just, as far as Kirby cap covers go, it's really good. But as far as like Kirby artwork from like, I think it's 76, this is almost as good as it gets.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm sure that when Alberto got this thing, he was really, really happy. It's a great image, you know, and it is kind of an homage to the Spidey stuff. But you're right, Marvel feature, double feature, those were always cool. And Marvel, you know, I always thought the Marvel triple action covers were cool too back in the day, getting the reprints and stuff. But the covers were so cool. I mean, they just made you want to pick them up. So now this is great. Look at, you get all these different images of Cap and Bucky. I mean, yeah, this is a good one. Needs some crackle. There's no crackle on that one. There is
really.
Oh wait, it's kind of really like crackling down there, just a little bit.
The AIM guy. That's not really a Cap thing in my mind, though.
Yeah.
So he had to sell a whole bunch of jailbreak iPhones to get it. That's the
Well, it's all, well, I won't comment. Alberto's been a little. He's had an edge to him the last couple nights. You know that.
I will say, you know, but you know, I do work out on my tonal. But he's obsessed. So I don't know. I just think he's turning into a meathead. But a nice one, a nice Spanish food connoisseur meathead.
That's true. I've been seeing, you know, he and Nick Barucci are eating out more than anybody that I've ever seen. Or he was cooking, if I'm not mistaken. I think in that big set of things that he was showing off. Anyway, great pickup for Alberto.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this was, oh yeah, hard-boiled Bruce Timm. This is, you know, it's funny. I mean, the style of the inking doesn't scream Tim to me. I mean, what do you think, Chris?
That's kind of why I picked it. It's almost got like a Bill Ray, like an animated. I mean, obviously we associate Bruce with the animated series, but this is like a little bit different than that. It's a little more brushy, you know, in some respects, certainly, but it's also like these are different line weights, and this has I mean, obviously the guy is horrific looking, but it has a grittier feel to it. And I think it's, you know, befitting the source material, but I really love the positive negative space on this almost more than anything.
Yeah, it's interesting because when I looked at it, I didn't think Bruce Timm at all. And then, but I thought the same thing. It has more of a cartoony, Ren and Stimpy.
John Kay.
Yeah,
or Bill Ray.
Or Bill Ray, like you said. I mean, something along those lines. So, yeah, just very not what you'd expect, but the composition is very cool. I mean, you know, the shirt tie with the angular shape in the background. I mean, it just really kind of pulls the whole thing together. So, yeah, it's interesting and unlike any Bruce Timm I've ever seen before. And who's the owner of this one? Stephen Farshid. From Minor Key Comics. Not familiar. He's a new member. Look at that, July 2024.
Hey, all right,
that is good. Well, welcome to the site. Yeah, always good to have new members with artwork style like this that we've never seen before.
Yeah.
3 comments on it too. So everybody, you know, if you run into his calf gallery, throw some comments on that piece for us. I know I should probably throw some. I hear when Chris and Kazra, you know, get together, they throw random comments on the pieces that they're. No,
we don't do that.
You don't do that. All right. Daryl gets a fair number of pieces into the weekly picks that we do here, but a Zafino piece, especially one as cool as this one, has to be in here, no matter who owns it.
Yeah, Daryl's a douchebag. I just want to put that out there first and foremost. No, he loves Azrael. I love Azrael. He and I have very similar taste in characters and artists. So It's no wonder that I do pick Daryl's stuff a fair bit. It's well within my wheelhouse. So it's no secret I love source lighting. It's no secret I love like tonal inking. This has got a buttload of both. Zaf is a really incredibly talented artist, and he's shown all of his stuff here. I wish he got to do more, big two covers and stuff like that, because I think he's even now a little unappreciated, kind of like cult following type guy, and I think he should be and can be bigger.
I completely agree. I mean, Zafino, one of my favorite artists, and the lighting on this thing is spectacular. Yeah. I mean, it really, really is. I would have picked this one too. I mean, like you said, there was a lot of good stuff that was posted on CAF last week, but there were pieces that really stood out, like this one and the cap cover and a few others. So, yeah, this good pick on this one.
He does such cool stuff too, where like he picks and chooses like kind of where to dial up the detail and where to leave it out, and he just makes a lot of really good choices as an illustrator.
Yeah.
Who's the really happy spiky hair bad guy?
I don't remember his name. It's in the description though. He's like the first son of Saint Dumas, who is kind of the patron saint of Azrael. But
I think he said it confidently.
I think he's kind of a failed experiment, as it were, at like making an Azrael. So he looks like he could be a Ghost Rider villain, though, right?
Sorta, yeah.
Proto Bane.
There you go.
Yeah, well, that one is that is very cool. Well, congrats to Daryl. Even if you're a little chuffed that it wasn't you that got the piece. Let's see here. Where are we going from this? To the NSN collection. A little.
Look at this thing.
Now wait a minute. Who is this by? Oh, Dave Johnson. That's right.
I know.
You like the feet, don't you, Chris?
It's the feet for sure.
Feet is what does it. But the funny thing is it's Dave Johnson. That's probably the more shocking thing. Even though seeing that, you have when you think of Dave's work, you think of a certain line weight, a certain composition,
and this has that.
It does, but
it has a lot more.
It does. Well, and this is like edge to edge illustration, even though he's kind of put his own border in there. But I'm just when I think of Dave's stuff, I think of excellent compositions and not necessarily something that goes edge to edge and crosses over things. And here he's like pushing everything to the edge of the panel that he's put himself in. I just would know, without seeing his signature on it, I never would have believed this was him.
Well, I feel like he always, well, not always. I feel like for the most part, though, especially in single page images, he pushes he pushes design over composition. So his covers are always really cleverly designed. He's such a great like graphic artist that we don't get to see like this side of him, expressed very much. But like, look at how fine this inking is. I mean, this is that stuff in the wings is like some Frank Cho level business.
I didn't know this is a published Preacher pinup. Well, of course, his collection should be Preacher related, right?
Yeah.
I probably would have qualified. It would qualify for the sketchbook for a cult. He wants to repost it.
I would think so.
Yeah. What did NSN say? Bill highlighting a Lucifer page, and one of my pieces getting picked. The show is going crazy.
It's October, man. October 1st. It turns to Halloween.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. All the rules changed. But Marcus says I'm required to pick devil art as part of my life.
We're gonna sacrifice some DC.
It's the deal he made at the crossroads.
Oh shoot!
Coincidentally, that's exactly when Kazra showed up.
That's I can't argue that. But yeah, it's funny because we see like you look at the work in the wings though.
Yeah.
Chris, and that's something that we see a lot in that like 50s, 60s kind of sci-fi stuff where they're using the paper. Which artists am I trying to think of? I can't think of the names, but there's a couple artists that we've looked at where they, I don't know the guys. Gosh, who are the names? It'll come to me later. But at any rate, you know what I'm talking about. There's some. It's not Fabian, although Fabian could kind of fall into that style. Marcus Way says Fabian. Sorry, I wasn't looking at that. No, I'm not thinking of Fabian. I'm thinking of a couple other people. But maybe I'll hop into Doug Ellis's. We'll see. Virgil Finley.
Finley.
Thank you.
Finley,
Thank you, Rick. That's who I was trying to think of. Because they would use the texture paper and then even noodle into that and get kind of texturing like that. So yeah, this is cool, and it feels like a throwback illustration in those ways to me. So, well, congrats, NSN. That's a good one.
Yep.
Very. Look at this. We have a Johnson that doesn't look like a Johnson. We have a Tim that doesn't look like a Tim. And all right, come on, James. Get your mind out of the gutter. And turn that picture frame and straighten it out in the background. I mean, that's got to be like your
No, my laptop's at an angle.
Your college diploma, and you're not treating it with respect.
That's my
Where are we going from here? Tony's Calf Gallery. And this is from Phases of the Moon Knight, Volume 1, Issue 2. This one as a thumbnail always caught my eye as I was scrolling through the site. I mean, it's
the type.
So cool. Yeah.
It's got that, I mean, I feel like a lot of times this isn't the first time anybody's done this, right? But I'm kind of a sucker for it because I love use of type. I like the fact that it's different materials, it's different textures, like that. It's kind of like ingrained into the background. Mm-hmm. It's definitely got an Eisner, feel to it. Like he's little in the front, and like this big type element is like looming in the background. But I don't know. I really love a well-designed cover that incorporates type, and this is definitely that.
It's a good piece.
Yeah, no, it really is.
I approve this pick, Chris.
Thank you.
All right, I got my thumbs up on that one.
Can we get a thing? Can we get a stamp or something created for when James approves my picks, and then people can assign that to their?
It won't be used that often.
No. I know. That's why I'm saying I want to denote that.
No,
man, James,
very good tonight.
There's a lot of angst in the hobby the last couple of days. Yeah, but it's fun. It's kind of but it's all in good fun.
It's October.
There you go.
We're all just Nancy for OAX. Shameless.
That's
plug.
what it is.
Yeah, we are. We've got so many things to talk about this month of October. I mean, I think you guys will all be very, very excited about a lot of it. Now, this was interesting. Now, Sid Mead, somebody who obviously, because of my love of illustration and from this era, I've always loved Sid Mead's stuff. I didn't realize that, because this is, I went over to their Instagram. I don't think I've seen this calf gallery before. So
I hadn't either.
Okay, I'm gonna have to go and look and see how many pieces they've ever posted, but this is cool. I mean, I'm assuming it's a prelim or something, right?
It is the finished pieces and the extra images.
Oh, okay. Let me see.
Wow.
Sid Mead's amazing, but just seeing a prelim like that is, I mean, I'd be happy to own the prelim. I mean, that's.
I'd be happy to own a napkin that he drew on. I mean, I picked this. I have like the absolute utmost respect for Sid Mead, and you just don't see this stuff. I mean, a couple times a year, and so I was thrilled that it was just posted. So I kind of picked it based on just the fact that it existed.
Yeah, agreed. Now, does this Sid mode? That's like some weird, because it's all Sid Mead stuff.
Is calf?
I'm a curator and collector of Sid Mead's work, and I'm charging in his exhibition recently he's mentioning a Tokyo show. So I don't know who this guy is or gal. And I'm never going to click on an Instagram link because you never know what it might lead me to.
Brand new gallery. I mean, it's
but they've been on the site since 2019. But yeah, you're right. Look, they've posted stuff, a few pieces. So I don't know. I'm kind of curious. I mean, I might reach out to him and just be like, what else you got?
Sell me something.
Right. I mean, I'm assuming it says not for sale and everything. Well, anyway, cool to see on the site. I didn't see that until you sent me your pics. All right. Raj Patel. Now, Danny Earls, I think we've talked about once or twice before. This is a question cover. Unbelievable tone work in this thing.
Right. That's really why I picked it. I like the going darkest on the figure in some ways is like inverse of what a lot of guys try to do, especially like this is clearly like an enclosed space. And I feel like the tendency would be to, black the backgrounds and bring up the contrast on the figure. He inverts that. I kind of pick. I've talked about Danny Earls a few times. It's just a very cool story. He's just a very he is not an artist by trade. He used to be a soccer player, a professional soccer player, but it was always his dream to become a comic book illustrator, and he basically kind of like willed that into existence by just working his ass off at becoming a better artist. And I really, really admire that.
Yeah, kind of an interesting light source too, coming off the floor like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't look to see if there was a published piece for it, but no, it's really cool. I love the blacks, that he's worked into the jacket here and everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's really it's a great illustration. Raj Patel has a great collection on CAF. If you haven't been in their CAF gallery before, only 2 comments on this piece. Come on, people!
I was surprised. Yeah,
Leave a comment, Bill.
I don't like to leave comments live. I'll do it from the app later.
You flustered him, James.
Speaking of the app, oh my gosh, I'm glad I said that. Do we have any? Does anybody actually use an Android phone? Okay.
People that, oh man, if I see green text in a chat, I'm like, you monster.
I want one Android user to email me that has a modern Android phone. Because I've got. You have a Google Pixel?
Yeah.
I thought you were lying when you were holding that thing up. Really?
Yeah.
Okay, well then James, we'll talk after the show.
All right.
I've got even Jeff Wedding says he's got it. Look at Stingray. Oh my goodness, we have a lot of people using them. But we're at the point now where we're trying to just finish things and cross-check everything on Android. So that's how close we are to getting this thing done. So it's down to the nitty-gritty stuff that don't match properly. That we're seeing a few discrepancies between iPhone and Android. And I only have a 4-year-old Pixel 2, or might even be a 5-year-old Pixel 2, so I don't feel like that's the right thing I should be testing on. So I wanted somebody with a more modern Android device to at least give us give it the once over. So all right, we'll be talking afterwards, James. So anyways, good pick. Raj's CAF gallery. He updates at least weekly. There's always something good in there. There's some people who don't like Apple.
Oh, they're out there.
All right, so there's your 10. So we get to go into mine now.
Let's go.
Where do we go?
Great pick, Bill.
This is a big hit.
It was. I kind of figured you left this one for me. I know it's Liefeld, and and it is in Fish's CAF gallery. I didn't put a like on it yet. It's Austin Inks, and that obviously kind of helps out a lot. I mean, look, even when Austin Inks it, he's not going to draw the feet, but my God, all the detail in this thing is just fun. I mean, all the cross hatching, all the way down. I mean, it's just weird seeing this kind of illustration for Wolverine at this period. It's just a cool drawing, so memorable. And shoot, I bet you. I think, what did I see a post from Fish where he said he's kind of been it's been a slow year for him, but this one really made it up for him, right? Yeah. And I mean, I think that's cool, man, because Fish for a few years there was just picking up great piece after great piece, right? Infinity Gauntlet piece after Infinity Gauntlet piece, and it was just all jaw dropper after jaw dropper. And so he's having a slow year, and this is the piece that kind of he might be happy not even picking up another piece of this quality for the rest of the year.
He's always working on something.
I'm sure. Oh, come on. Okay.
But
he's
really focusing on hyper quality. And I will do one quick plug for him, though. He's really looking for Wolverine Saga #2. So if anyone has seen it, heard of it, or come across it, or ever watches this video, this is #1. He's really looking for #2. And he would appreciate any information that anyone could provide. Oh, and he's celebrating Jewish New Year today, Shana Tova. That's why he's not on.
Oh, well, let him know we featured his piece. I mean, I guess since he's bought so little this year, when he saw his name in the mailing, he knew what piece we were featuring.
Yeah.
Did you guys get your email today?
Yes.
Okay, so it did. See, I don't know why a couple people didn't get it.
That's because we use Android.
I use Apple. I got my email.
It has been. I'll be honest. It's been weird. A couple guys who are regulars literally have managed to unsubscribe themselves. I go into they say that they're not getting it, so I check in MailChimp because we don't manage that. Obviously, MailChimp handles all that, and it literally will say today, it'll say this guy unsubscribed in the September 10th. And it literally says why a reason, because you usually have to do that when you unsubscribe. And in every case, it said spammy content. So somebody had actually picked that from a drop menu and unsubscribed, but they don't know it. How is that even possible? So I have this weird feeling that something might have happened.
When you hit unsubscribe for some of the services like Yahoo Email or something like that,
Just automatically.
if you click spam, it'll ask you, would you rather unsubscribe? So you click the unsubscribe within the other, like I guess their AI automated assistant. So it probably does it for you, and it picks the spam functionality. So it doesn't register you as spam, but it notifies you as spam. So it doesn't.
In every case, they had to go back and sign up because they swore up and down they didn't do it. So it's just been peculiar to have 3, longtime CAF members and stuff having that many problems. So speaking of
terrible,
look at this, James. I'm a sucker for anything by Ian Churchill, and this piece is it's interesting because it's the inks are richer than I expect when I see
feels like
something.
Michael Golden to me.
Or Ed McGuinness.
Yeah. Isn't there? Is there something different about it? It's the line quality. I mean,
so this is Ian Churchill's natural style.
It's all him. Okay.
Yeah. So this is his natural style. I think people can correct me wrong on the details. So when he was doing the nostalgic stuff, which is what I appreciate because that's what I grew up with. They asked him to do more of the house style with Jim Lee. Kind of focusing on that Jim Lee style. Apparently, he got in a car wreck, and it didn't allow him to do that. And so anything that's more modern for me and Churchill, it's more kind of this Ed McGuinness cartoon, slightly softer look. I really, really like it. I mean, most people, if I'm going to collect a piece of art, I'll probably go nostalgia. But this one I got from Michael McIsaac. He had it in his gallery for a while, and I thought it was just gorgeous. Domino looks fantastic. The film noir, femme fatale type thing look great.
The background's crazy. I mean, it's beautiful. I mean, it's so compressed. I mean, there's it's like it's out of a film. I mean,
and when we figured out she has a sniper rifle and she's doing sniper. I mean, the zipper down allows her to breathe better, so she can have a better aim. This is what we figured.
Yeah. That's what I do every time I go out shooting a sniper rifle. Anyway,
you undo your leather.
I do.
Yeah. And is the one on his mouth.
Oh boy, I gotta make a call to Berkey soon. I gotta
get out of here.
Speaking of leather masks, what?
No, call. I don't put the mask on for phone calls. Sorry. At any rate, I thought this was really cool. And
it's getting late.
I'm jealous. You got this out of McIsaac when he's in kind of cell mode, right? So that's wonderful.
Yeah,
I think if I would have seen it, I might have been interested in it as well. So then who's CAF? Oh, this was in Paul P's CAF gallery. He's like you, James. He's posting like home run after home run. He loves
no. Paul, I am nothing like Paul Poppins. Okay. He is at a level that few mortals.
The volume is there. But I know his stuff. I don't know how he does it. He picks up these pieces. This is Ramos, and
this is non-Ramos. I mean, we had a Johnson that doesn't look like a Johnson, and now we got a Ramos that doesn't look like a Ramos.
The steampunk just vibe was one thing, but the light. I mean, I'm used to his style, but I've really felt like the really light line work in here just made it.
And the amount of rendering.
Exactly. There was something about this that threw me in. I think this was kind of the last piece that I put in because I just kept thinking, why, right? Because it's not really like this striking, amazing image, but being Ramos's work, there just was something that kept drawing me back to it. And Ramos is coming to OAX, and so it just made me keep thinking about it. Like, what kind of work might we see when he comes to the show? And so I was like, I'm going to show this piece tonight because it's so out of the ordinary for him. And like you said, that's been the theme tonight, strangely enough. And whose CAF gallery is this tonight? I'm sorry, it's Paul's. By the way. All right, I need another Zevia and probably I don't know, a melatonin to sleep well tonight. So this one I picked. This was like an easy pick for me. I'm sure James would have picked this one too. No, you wouldn't have liked this. You don't like Dennis Cowan, Bill Sienkiewicz? Not on your.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh no, that's a nice page. I think I glitched for a second.
Oh, I thought there was a frowny face going on over there.
No, I heard a glitchy sound. My apologies. No, absolutely love it.
All right, and here's the other surprising thing. This is in Mickey's calf gallery.
Huh.
And,
he's another one at almost the Paul Pappas level.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he definitely. Well, you're whatever. He's living the life of Riley as a comic art collector. He's got more stuff in his permanent collection that he hasn't shown yet. So he has just a wealth of things to draw on, and he's picking stuff up all the time. But
he's the guy. I hope he's the guy I lost the Giffen Legion fold out to on a Heritage signature last month. I hope Mickey got that.
Mm-hmm. Well, it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah,
but I like Dennis's stuff, as we all know, and we haven't had him on the channel in a long time. But I just thought this is just a great piece, and clearly these two guys like working together.
Yeah.
And I just thought, we've seen a lot of other things that they've worked on. I just thought this was just a great image, and then being in Mickey's calf gallery was what pushed it over the edge. I was looking at other stuff to feature as the show image, and I was like, there's just too many weird things coinciding here. And I'm like, all right, I'm going with it. So there you have it. Very nice piece. And what Rich Denny says, kudos to the whiteout pen. Yeah, there was a lot of that used on this one. From Journey. This was I don't know if anybody else read these, but they were always weird. I liked the art. I didn't like the story. There was just something about it. I don't know why. It was bizarre. Wolvie. Yes, it was Wolvie. You're right, Marcus. I always forget the name of the character, but I don't know. There was just always something about it. It was this is like back in the when everybody was experimenting with these with bigger print runs on independent comics, and I kept picking it up trying to figure out how to get into the story, and I never could. But I always liked the art in it. So
is this Rick W's?
I believe it is Rick's, right? Yeah, Rick W.
What was my comment on that one? I remember.
Where was your comment? Oh, here it is. Nice. It would be wonderful to live back in those simpler times, and then you die of dysentery. Yeah, exactly. Anyway, Rick, I love Rick's eclectic, taste in artwork. We've seen a couple flips from Rick. He's a big Tim Truman fan. All the same era that this artwork is from, and I totally get it, because when I see this, I just think about being back in a comic shop, just thumbing through books that weren't for Marvel and DC, and just wanting to find the next American flag book, something that was going to just blow me away. And I tried with this book. It just never really, the story didn't work for me, but I like the art. Comic adaptation of the Oregon Trail, Chris. Yeah. All right. Next, what are we doing next? All right, here's my nostalgic pick, Andrew Burton's Calf Gallery. Everybody knows I love Starlin and Leia Loa. I don't really need to say anything more than just that. I have to say, Leia Loa adds a lot to Starlin. Oh my God, does he? I would kill for any page from this run of Warlock.
Silvestri.
I don't know what to say.
Oh, that's a maybe.
But I agree with you, Chris, with Leia Loa. I think he's one of the best inkers of this era. He just made everybody's stuff look more lush. His brushwork is just phenomenal. We can think of Rubenstein on Starlin, and it would never look anything close to this. It would not have the same impact. And Steve's ink.
He brings a wildness, or like a vivaciousness so me personally, I consider Starlin sort of very straight up and down and kind of boring. Mm-hmm. Like the poses and things like that.
He's a stiff. I don't have a problem saying it. You're right. A lot of times he is, but I think in some definitely the right inker makes it worse. And you put Leia Loa on him, and this is like Mignola in his early days. Because it's all the fluidity of Leia Loa's inking style, and It's always, yeah, I could look at this stuff all day. Marcus, my lifetime contract. Boy, Katoosh is what he got from the evil one. All right, where are we at? I got 4 more picks to go, and then I have to call Mike Berkey. This is Bo Roberts Calf Gallery. Matsuda, we don't see a lot of. There's not a lot of his artwork
out there either.
And I mean, come on, I've always really enjoyed his style. And who was the inker on this one again? T-Bear. So and art's just an amazing inker. So shoot, who wouldn't want to own something like this? You just don't see his work around too often. You never see it come up at auction, right? Right, James?
No, you don't see it much at auction. You don't see it much out there for sale, especially a cover of this quality. I reached out to a few people, and they don't like to move them either. The last thing I saw over was an X Factor page with Havoc on eBay, and Aranga ended up picking it up. So no. I mean, every now and then you think you're going to get it for a fair deal, and someone comes in and just offers a whole bunch of money for it.
Yeah, Marcus reminds us that he left for animation, and I get it, but it's our loss because can you imagine?
It's the manga style. I know.
Anyway, just imagine what his work would look like today.
Make Matsuda great again.
I would love to see an evolution of his work from this period to currently, just to see where it would have taken him in comics. But it was not meant to be. It's just like Joe Mad, right?
Yeah,
we lost him as well to gaming. But yeah. Anyway, cool piece, Bo Roberts. Congrats. Bo's got an awesome calf gallery. He's a big fan of Brian Hitch too. He has some really good authority pages. Yeah, I'm jealous of that. Ken Kelly, we pop Ken Kelly up in here every once in a while. I don't know. I skipped over this one a couple times, but I just think Ken Kelly, because he's basically in competition after Frazetta and Boris, or in line with Boris. I mean, he kind of gets overlooked a lot, but I still feel like as an influence on a lot of modern comic book painters, Ken Kelly, is an important figure. I mean, recently passed, and so it's always cool to see a painting that I'm not familiar with. I like the lighting on this one. The composition's great, and I think they even had a pretty good scan. And I look at it and I think, there's no way like Simone Bianchi didn't see stuff like this and layering of colors, and that some of those things aren't like just kind of make their way into other creators' work. It's just, it doesn't matter if you're an artist that might be viewed as like kind of following in the footsteps of somebody else. I mean, Ken Kelly still had an incredible career, and I think his work is respected by a lot of other painters as well. So
it should be. I mean, not from the painting standpoint, but figurally, and like for a couple of other reasons. This makes me think of like David Finch being influenced by Ken Kelly.
Sure, yeah, you can see that. I mean, this.
Yeah,
I like it. Ken Kelly was Ellie Frazetta's nephew. Yeah.
Huh.
And they've been posted. Oh, I didn't know that. Huh. Okay. Cool. Well, this was in Tristram's Calf Gallery. Yeah, Tristram Portal. Lots of cool stuff in Tristram's Calf Gallery. And a few, 8 comments. That's not too bad. Let's see, 2 more to go. Tim Sale, last Halloween cover. Non-premium member Calf Gallery owner, so we can't click on it to get all the goodness out of it. But this was, what was her name? Rich Henneman. So
that's the actual one.
I don't know. It said 2005. It's certainly it's listed as the cover. Marcus commented on it, so it's got to be right.
Wow.
I didn't go back to double check it, but it's crazy. It kind of sucks when you get a nice image like this and we can't look at it, right? Zoom in on it. It's like, what do you do with calf, man? It's like you wish everybody could have artwork at 2,000 pixels tall and fill our screens, when it's something as cool as this. But did I get a like on it? No, I did not. I only take care of that one. All right.
Is that really the cover?
I don't know.
I want to go back and look at it, man.
I don't know. I mean, tell me, somebody
Like the irregular border and like this.
It looks. You're right. It looks like it's like a prelim, right?
Or a commission.
Or a
Chuck
commission.
Arnold got us.
This is the cover of the new book, says Chuck Arnold.
It's still a cover.
Okay.
It's still a cover though.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it didn't sell. But
Right.
One by Rizzo. Huh. Okay, I'm not familiar with it either. It didn't jump out at me either. But okay, cool. Well, I still like it. It was done in 2005.
I was gonna say, because in my mind, those books had those really graphic, like monochromatic covers, and this wasn't that. So
there you go. Marcus says, yeah, confirms 2024. All right. Well, what else we got? One more, and I don't remember. Oh, Lee Weeks, Klaus Janson Gambit page. I picked this one solely because I felt that I like Lee Weeks' work a lot, and it really doesn't matter that this is a Gambit page. I feel like the action on this one is just so well done. I mean, the panel layout, it's kind of busy, but it fits the battle. And again, this is what comic books are all about, like being able to show like crazy action. And I think I kept coming back to this page. I really liked it. I just felt it was really well done. Just enough of a splash image in the first panel to kind of get, really give you like one big impactful image. And then you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 extra inset panels of them battling. And I like it. I just thought it was great. And I like Lee Weeks' stuff. Klaus Janson inks on it are maybe a little, I don't know, rigid, I guess, but
that's a great example from that series.
this is a moment in time, right? I mean, I think James would agree. He doesn't do it this way anymore.
Yeah, and they're extra large pages. I mean, they're twice up. I've had a few, of course, a couple of covers. The covers aren't twice up, but I love the series, and this is a great page from that series. You don't see them too often either.
No. I mean, this was kind of striking when I came across it. I was like, shoot, man. Mm-hmm. How do I not pick this one? So let me get my like on this. And this is in Anim Sketches Calf Gallery.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I end up in their calf gallery a lot. I think that must mean they have good taste.
Some good stuff in there.
Yeah. Well, and they reply to people's comments too, so they're engaged. So, James, you got a great Gambit page. Oh, we think alike. All right. Well, there you go. We made it. We made it to the end of all the picks. And stuff.
And 3 minutes tomorrow. It's not tomorrow. No long goodbyes. Let's get it done in the next 2 minutes.
So, it's gonna be weird if I don't have that Heritage International thing on Monday. I'll have 4 consecutive days off.
Whoa!
Streaming. That's gonna be weird. I guess I'm gonna have to get some work done around the house. I hope more.
Get the mask out.
Well, I had believe it or not, when the hurricane blew through, I had one piece of it's not siding, it's that sheeting that's like on the edge of the roof line that they kind of nail in there. Well, it blew off.
Oh, flashing?
Yeah, flashing. I'm sorry. Yeah, exactly. It's like a 12-foot section of flashing, and of course, it's right at the freaking peak. So I don't have a ladder to reach it. I'm gonna have to like lean over the edge and tack it on there. Maureen's like, but you're the breadwinner. If anything happens to you, we gotta pay somebody. I'm like, Maureen, somebody's gonna charge us like a couple $1,000s to go up there and do that. I'm just gonna nail this thing back up there. So
hey,
wish me luck. I'm gonna try it on Saturday.
Go announce live on YouTube that if something unfortunate happens, I do get that Psylocke.
All right, yeah, I'll draft a small mini will, and I'll just be like
verbal agreement right now.
We'll just take this.
Yeah, gaffer's tape. Yeah, I will take a few photos of it so everybody can get a laugh out of it. But yeah, I try to be handy, but I'm generally not. But owning a mini golf for 14 years is instilled a level of confidence in me that probably isn't warranted in fixing stuff like that. So we're gonna see. Maybe I'll invite. I don't know. He probably won't. But yeah, we could use some help over there. Maybe I'll invite my father-in-law over, and he can just kind of point at me while I'm up there and tell me where to pound nails. Anyway, guys, as always, thank you, James. I'm glad we got the October sketchbook theme worked out and the November one, all in one shot. And Chris, as always, thank you.
It was fun, guys. Good to see you, James.
Can't do this without you. So you guys have a great night.
You too.
Good, sir. Thank you, Bill. Bye, Chris.
All righty. So there we made it to the end of it. It's not even, well, it's like 40 seconds to midnight. So thank you everybody for hanging out with me. Like I said, if I don't have a show on Monday, I've got 4 nights off. So I've got a few video clips queued up and different things to play. I think I've got one, I forget what I have queued up tomorrow. I think it was Rick W. I forgot to post your last flip. So that's going to be posted tomorrow. I've got James flip to go. I'll probably post that this weekend. And I've had that Alexandra Von Hawk video for about a year now that I've never posted. So if I'm really going to have 4 days off, I have a feeling that I'm going to finally post the Von Hawk interview. And Alexandra will be at OAX this year. She will have the proper address. She will not get lost when she's coming to the show. So on Sunday, we haven't picked a time yet, but Alexandra will be doing a panel, kind of show and tell, answer questions. So people who have work that needs any kind of conservation or restoration work, she will be at OAX on Sunday. But for those of you who've never met her, and of course you've only seen a few photos of her, I will post that video, I promise, this weekend, so everybody will get to experience Alexandra for themselves. Yeah, we need to give her a motorcycle escort this next time, Jeff. At any rate, so all right, I guess I got to call Mr. Berkey. And I see James's. Yep, I see you, James. Oh, you just stay in the green room. I'll talk to you in a minute. But yeah, I wanted to let everybody know that we have to figure out how we're going to kind of get a time and a slot for her. But we'll be talking about Alexandra a few times before we get to OAX, because if anybody has some work that might need repaired or whatnot, that's like the perfect time to at least show it to her and give it to her if you wanted to have her do work for you. And James Siegel, who's in the green room right now, can attest to her skills. So yeah, there's that. So anyways, thanks for hanging out with me. Have a wonderful rest of your week. And yeah, I'll see you again sometime soon. Maybe Monday. If not Monday, it will be Tuesday with Jiggy Cruz. Have a good one, everybody.